is home for sports. Touchdown! The flagship station of the Patriots, Bruins, the Celtics. WBCFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Leslie Media Group station celebrating 65 years of broadcasting. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics have clinched at least a 3 seed in the East after pulling away late for a 116-101 win over Toronto at TD Garden yesterday. Joe Mazzulla's team had a great game on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, second quarter they held them to 20. I thought the game opened up for us in the middle of the second quarter. We were playing really good defense getting out into our offense, so the second quarter was great. Third quarter, obviously we lost it by 5, but I thought the end of the third quarter we were decent, and then I thought the whole fourth quarter we played well.
Jason Tatum had 23 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists to lead the Green, who now have 3 straight wins and 53 for the season with 4 to play. They'll be in Charlotte tomorrow night. As for the Bruins, they earned a point in Philadelphia yesterday, but they still lost their third straight game, 2-1 in overtime. Pavel Zacha tied it on the power play in the first minute of the third period, but rookie Porter Martone won it for the home team with a 2-man advantage in OT. The Bruins lead is now 6 points on the Islanders for a playoff spot with 4 to go. They wrap up their road trip against Carolina tomorrow night. Speaking of the Islanders, they fired head coach Patrick Roy yesterday with 4 games to go. He has been replaced with former Dallas head man Peter DeBoer. Red Sox lost to San Diego 8-6 at Fenway Park to drop to a major league worst 2-7. Jackson Merrill's homer in the top of the 8th inning snapped a 6-6 tie for the visitors. Masataka Yoshida drove in 3 runs for the Red Sox. They play Milwaukee at Fenway Park tonight. It'll be Connecticut against Michigan tonight in Indianapolis for college basketball's national championship, and UCLA won the women's title yesterday 79-51 over South Carolina. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Boston Prolotherapy. Don't let joint pain keep you off the court, course, or trail. Eliminate that pain with Dr. Frankie of Boston Prolotherapy. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
You actually coaching the game, or it's just
that is. I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston talk sports here.
What do we got?
Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah, boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you gonna have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Thank you.
You have a nice Easter, Fred?
First of all, let me go through everything that's going on. We are the Toucher and Hardy show. You just met our cast of characters. When you start a new show, sometimes you'll hear a show. It always aggravated me when everyone at the beginning, they would announce everyone in the room at the beginning of every break. That's completely unnecessary. People figure it out sooner or later. There's some shows that do it every day for ad nauseum. They just do on and on and on and on and on. They announce everyone. But anyway, you can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. You can go ahead and do that. Easter. So my ex-wife and my daughter were in New York. They came back yesterday. My son was in town, and I went. Well, he lives at home, but he was still around. So we went to the Red Sox game. But my ex-wife, my daughter and her left on Thursday, and I was taking care of the cat at that house. Milo and I were taking care of the cat at her house. And it doesn't require a lot, but she kept bothering me to set up these Easter baskets for the kids. My kids are 17 and 15, and she kept bothering me about it. And I finally said to her, bothering me. And then I finally said, why do you want me to do it? And then she's like, well, I'm not going to be there. And I'm like, well, yeah, but neither are the kids. So, you're coming. What do you need me to set up the Easter basket for? So, Milo and I, just to keep the peace, Milo and I, before the Red Sox game, we go to her house, and I go down to where she's kept these precious baskets, and they are two about, I don't know, shot glass-sized baskets with 2 pieces of candy apiece that needed to be taken out of a bag. I mean, I can't tell you how ridiculous it was. And Milo was with me. And then Milo's like, why? What is this? And I said, I don't know.
Did he hide his own Easter basket?
Yeah, it was. You didn't have to. You could hide it in plain sight. It was so small. So it was just, whatever. Like, I understand. Fine, you give the kids like a little something just out of tradition. It was like my daughter's thing was literally 2 things of the peanut butter cups. I mean, 2. She went to CVS and bought 2 peanut butter cups things. And then my son's was, I can't even remember, and it was 2 cents of candy. So I'll never understand. And then I'm like, why do you need me to do this? And she started getting pissy, and I'm like, all right, I'll do whatever, fine, good. Now when Zoe comes home with you, she can see the things she doesn't care about,
Right.
And that no one would care about. They wouldn't have cared about it when they were 2. It's garbage. I mean, they have Apple Cash and they have stuff. They could go out and buy a Reese's if they wanted to.
But it's the gift, it's the surprise, it's the celebrations, the resurrection of Christ, which I know is important to your Jewish ex-wife and her Jewish children.
Well, Jewish in theory, you know.
Well, Marcy had to she didn't have to. She did send an Easter basket to Katie at college, and Katie was very excited to get it. For Calvin, he got his Easter basket yesterday, and in it was a fidget spinner that she had got for him, because apparently he is not a freshman in high school. He's an 8-year-old with ADHD, so he needed this newfangled fidget spinner. Now, I'm happy because it is some kind of a toy. So immediately I'm like, open it like that. And he's like, I'll do it. His voice is deeper than mine. I'll do it. I'm like, yeah, but let me open it. All right, fine. So he finally opens it. And I quickly realized that this is the type of a fidget spinner that has a very long spin if you give it the right spin. So I start trying to make it a competition. All right, see how long you can spin it for. Robert, it's the opposite of what you're supposed to do with that. It's supposed to de-stress and relieve anxiety, and you're turning it into a competition. I'm like, yeah, competition, game. Get out your phone. Hit the stopwatch. Let's go. And I couldn't get anybody to play with me. Eventually, I forced the boy into it so that he would at least have one competition with me. And then after brunch, my mother-in-law was there, and she was game.
You probably love your mother-in-law.
I love my mother-in-law.
You should probably marry her.
And she at least would do one on like a timed thing. But what's the point of just sitting and fidgeting? At some point, let's put a timer on this sumbitch and let's see who's the best at it. Let's see who's the best at fidget spinning.
Did you win? Did you conquer all?
John, stop it.
Well, they call fidget spinners the Xanax of 2026. I mean, if you get a fidget spinner, like say you're having a huge panic attack, look no further than a top.
Yeah.
And then it's like almost magical.
Yeah.
It just calms you right down. Yeah, you don't hear often kids that age getting fidget spinners.
No, but she happened upon one in the paper store, and I got to say, it is somewhat hypnotic when she started playing with this thing.
But it was interesting because when we got back, the game, it rained, so we were all going out to dinner after the game. So I wanted to change clothes because I was soaked. And so my son drove me over to my ex-wife's house. So we were leaving from there to go to dinner. And in the car, he has a friend whose mother gave him Easter stuff. And it was like garbage, but it was like 15 pounds of crap. It was a substantial bag. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a basket, but it was a bag of 20 things, heavy things. And I said, don't show this to your mother.
Yeah.
because
Only bad things will happen.
I said, don't show this to your mother. It's just, be kind. Don't show it to her because she's been outclassed. Meanwhile, my daughter was in New York City with my ex-wife shopping and things like that. I mean, what do they need an Easter basket? My son goes to private school. What do they need an Easter basket for?
What does private school have to do with an Easter basket? They're fun.
Money.
Easter baskets are fun.
Money.
It's just-
Lots
it's
and
the
lots and
thought.
lots and lots and lots of money.
It's the thought, and it's the hunt. It's the Easter basket hunt.
And then when I went to go, it was annoying me, the basket. And then when I got to her house, there was a ton of boxes out in front of her house that there's somewhere to Zoe, some to my ex-wife. So Zoe had boxes of stuff far bigger than anything she was getting to Easter, just sitting in front of the house. But that Easter basket needed to be put together. She might have asked me 5 times over the course of the weekend to put that Easter basket together. I couldn't. It took Milo to find the shopping bag in the stairwell to tell me what even the shopping bag for the Easter basket was. It was so small.
I'm with your ex-wife on this one. I think it's a nice tradition. No matter how small, it's the gesture, it's the thought that counts.
Right? Why did
You
I
should
have
keep
to
it
do
going.
it? I don't care that we gave him an Easter basket. That's fine. That wasn't. I never brought that up as the issue. My issue, give him 10 Easter baskets. I don't care. Why do I have to go over there and set up the Easter baskets with my son? So when my daughter comes home from New York, the Easter basket's sitting there. That's not even why. It was just do this.
Maybe because you were going to be over there anyway, taking care of the cat. It doesn't sound like it took you very long to set up the Easter baskets.
No, but I didn't have to take care of the cat on Sunday. They were coming home. I know what you're doing, and you're trying to.
I am
to position
absolutely
things.
not, and I think as maybe the one person whose birthright it is to celebrate Easter properly, that maybe you would have the lightest touch when it came to putting together the Easter basket. Like you would know what to do and how to do it.
You got a good point there. I do know my way around an Easter basket.
Exactly. Now, I have no idea what your childhood was like. You must have had Easter baskets.
Yes, but the final Easter basket was I got an Easter basket one time that was stuff that had already been in the basement. What do you mean? My mom obviously had forgotten Easter was coming and took a bunch of stuff from the basement and put it into an Easter basket.
Oh, boy.
Did you immediately call her out on it when you got it?
Yeah, I said, this is just stuff from the basement.
What did she say?
She probably
cried.
started sobbing and running around sobbing.
Could you approximate how old you were?
Not like a little kid, so like 12 or
Yeah.
12 probably.
And that was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one I recall is that we were, for whatever reason, at my grandmother's house in Lakeland, Florida. Beautiful, beautiful Lakeland, Florida.
That's nice.
Nice inland, no water anywhere near it. And so we were in Lakeland, Florida, and I got like a Kmart skateboard, not even a Veriflex, just like a skateboard, like one of the small ones, like small skinny ones. Like a toy skateboard, not even. It's like one you couldn't ride, and my grandmother pounced on me about how spoiled I was because I got something that wasn't candy for Easter, and I was probably about 10, so that was a nice one. Easter. Now I like Easter because it's not Thanksgiving, and because of the reason for the season.
The reason for the season. I'm surprised you weren't at church at some point over the weekend.
I had other activities that morning. I could not go to church.
Hey,
I would have.
I got activities every day, but you prioritize.
I was not alone. I would have done that. I would have gone. Given the church a little bit of money. I would have gone, but I didn't. But I didn't have the opportunity.
Keep your money. That's not the reason for going.
That's what they say.
Hey, if you're coming in here, give us some money.
Yeah. If you're one of these jacks that only comes in once, twice a year for the big ones, Write a
Got to
check.
capitalize when you get the opportunity.
Right, write a check. No, I did not attend
When you
church.
were when you were still married, did you attend any of the big Jewish services, the ones that like tickets get scalped for and stuff?
That is true. By the way,
that's not a joke.
no, it is not a. Well, John wouldn't know. How would John know what Jewish people?
Why are you looking over here?
He laughed like it wasn't true because he doesn't know. I
So
know
that-
there's an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm but yes, the only time, and it was before we were married, when I was in Atlanta, and I was wooing my before she was my wife, I agreed to go to. I imagine it was Yom Kippur because that's the big one. Right, Johnny? You don't know.
I don't know.
Well, you wouldn't know, but John should, considering he was
should.
raised Jewish. He went to Camp Young Judea, but we went, and you did have to buy tickets, and I remember being mystified that you had to buy tickets into the Yom Kippur services. And so what we did is we walked in, and there were a lot of people there, but it was like there was a show going on in the temple. But everyone was milling around smoking outside, basically. Like there was it was like an all-day affair, and people were kind of just like checking in, saying, "I've walked into the building," but I recall if we spend any time watching the festivities, it was 10 minutes, and then the rest was yentering about with people that she knew. There was really no. There wasn't a lot of, what do you call it, routine? Well, not routine. Pomp and circumstance. I'm trying to think. I can't think of the term I'm trying to think of. It's Monday morning, baby.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I've been partying for 72 hours.
Hell yeah.
You want me to just come in here? Carrie, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How's everybody doing this morning?
Carrie, you found the way to get on the air, and that's to call first thing in the morning. Go ahead.
Hey, it works. It works. I'm kind of like a local celebrity now, And
Not so quick.
Oh, is he gone?
Yeah.
Oh no, Carrie!
He'll call him.
Call back tomorrow morning.
He's going to call back tomorrow.
It's sad when I take a call
fine.
and it's the same person every day, and I don't realize it.
Yeah.
It makes me feel bad that there's not more people calling. And he was going to say, when do you first start giving an Easter basket? And there's no way Carrie's not 100 years old. So I call into question.
Carrie's got that voice, though, man. Especially here in Boston, he could be 80. He could also be 26
with 2-pack a day habit.
You don't know.
Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I'm highly doubting that he's someone with young children.
Yeah, I doubt it too, but we've all met that guy. We all know that guy who's got a voice like Carrie's, who is born in the 90s minimum.
Yeah. Carrie seems like a guy that's just used to getting up early in the morning. He really doesn't have like anywhere to be. It seems like more like that. This is like kind of Carrie's hobby on Monday mornings is that he'll call into the radio station.
Call on the radio show and be one of the early risers at the Dunkin'.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're getting his medium regular.
There can't be that much that every day he would have something to participate. And I call into question the Easter basket question. That's
I never got to hear the question.
Was when do you start giving the kids the Easter basket? And to that I would say, like, what do you care? The time is come and gone.
Where were you on Friday? That's when you asked the question.
Right, exactly. Like, no, and also, why would you care? It's not. It can't be a factor in your life, because the answer would be, I suppose, whenever you want. I mean, if you want to give, we could be like us. When my son turned 1, we had probably his most expensive birthday party in his 17 years on the planet was when he turned 1.
My daughter's 1-year-old birthday party, I still get anxiety thinking about it, putting that thing together. And my wife literally getting sick, throwing up from the stress of trying to get ready for that thing.
We had a musician. We had the sausage guy. we had a whole, and I didn't have any money, and we had a whole operation in the driveway of our Brighton home. The home we were renting.
Yeah, yeah.
But we had a whole operation. We had to get to Dropkick Murphys to give us their rain tent or their merch tent because it was last second was going to rain. So I had to have Tim from the Dropkicks drop off his merch tent from the Dropkick Murphys.
It's such a trap. And you see people repeating the same mistake, new parents, the time and time again. The only time you might escape it is with the second kid. We'll see what the Gemellis do with this latest one.
Right.
Because I'm sure they had a blowout.
All I know is that there's going to be one thing that doesn't happen. Maybe I'm invited. It's strange.
Has your father met the new boy?
He said, no, not yet.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Not good.
Kid's like 2 months old.
Still.
He says he's look at all that. You can tell what he's saying. You can tell what he's saying by his opening his bag. You know what you could just figure out. Nick just told you what was going on silently by opening his bag.
Yeah, unpacking his headphones 22 minutes into the workday.
Yeah.
Good for you, Nick. You want to go get a cup of coffee first?
George?
No, get all plugged in and ready to go there, pal.
So
show started damn near half an hour ago.
When we said, did you meet, as your dad meet the kid? With the way Nick expressed himself is he turned to the side and he started moving his mouth and then opened his bag. So, of course, now that's the whole story.
Cackamungus.
Now he just turned and
He's asking if you would like him to go to the microphone.
Yeah.
Well, certainly better than just turning to the side and opening his
bag.
bag.
Take the family into the north end, keep them out on the sidewalk, and yell up from the stoop, "Hey, Dad, come down and meet your new grandkid."
He hasn't met him yet.
Why not?
Well, the times that we've been, planning on coming in and he's just not available today.
You had 3 weeks when you weren't here. You could have taken the kid down one of those days.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're still working on a good time.
You keep working on it.
Ideally, it would have been by
I know when it will be.
But not. But it hasn't
I'm
happened.
floating above the air.
We will be back. Lots of games and things of that nature going on yesterday involving local teams. So we can get into all of that if everyone would like. We can do that in just.
Dutcher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
We are Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, what's going down in the streets?
First, I'd like to say you're lucky I'm here today because we just heard a commercial for the NyQuil Pure Z's. I picked some up yesterday and took one of those gummies last night. Triple action, right? So it's not only got the melatonin, but it's got antioxidants in there. I thought I was going to be passed out for the rest of the week. Turns out, no next day grogginess. So I'm good to go, Fred.
Oh. Yeah, there is something about vitamins, especially a lot of times I'll find myself, if I have orange juice in the morning, I'm no good for 3 days.
Yeah. I know you poo-poo the notion that any type of over-the-counter homeopathic remedy could work, but look at me, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, full 6.5 hours ready to go. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go, kid.
What your body was thirsting for was melatonin and a bunch of other stuff that doesn't do anything.
It does everything. And you know who was doing everything yesterday? The Bruins, except for scoring first.
Directed out of the zone. Here's Dvorak with a 2-on-1. Dvorak, right circle, shot, scores. Flyers cash in on an early odd man rush. Christian Dvorak makes it 1-0.
Well, 1-0 there in the first period. Now, the Bruins would no scoring in the second. The Bruins would go on the power play at the end of the second, though, and continue that power play into the start of the third period.
Back to the center blue line for McAvoy. Over to Middlestad at the left wing circle. Walks down toward the corner. Back up top for McAvoy. McAvoy gets it to Pastrnak. One-timer broke through Vladar. Thrown back out in front, and they score! And it's Zacha! And the Bruins tie it at 1 with a power play goal to start the third.
Hell yeah, 35 seconds into the third period. Pavel Zacha on the power play makes it a 1-1 game. It would remain that way for the rest of regulation.
Yeah, which it shouldn't have, because Korpisalo was outstanding, and
So
the Bruins were absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, they had 19 shots for the game. Awful. I understand the second day of a back-to-back, but I mean,
Well, they were not good the day before the second day of the back-to-back.
I know.
They've been.
I was just going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. They were lousy the first night, so it really, there's no excuses. They were terrible yesterday.
Yeah, all of a sudden the game that they played against that AHL Florida team's the best game they played in 3 days.
And we talked about it in real time, what a bad loss that was. And
well, it doesn't really matter now because of everything else that's been happening.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
A lot of teams behind them losing, but still.
Yeah, Korpisalo had to make 11 more saves
than
Vladar last.
I mean, I thought the game was over. Korpisalo made a second chance right pad save.
Oh my God! Was it paddle then right pad?
No, it was. I don't know. The original save wasn't anything special. It was the second save. Yeah. I thought it was in the goal.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I thought that they had lost the game, but he had kept them in it. But then, yes, it went into overtime, and the Bruins just said, "Take it, take the game." What do we need this for?
Bad turnover, and Pastrnak has to take a penalty, and then McAvoy.
I'm not positive he needed to take that penalty either. He didn't even stop him. See, what John's talking about is there was a turnover in Philadelphia was going to have a breakaway, and Pastrnak deliberately hooked whoever was going in. But the thing is he hooked him, and then the guy still got his shot off.
Yeah.
He still had quite a bit of ice to maneuver. That's why there wasn't a penalty shot.
Well, maybe he thought he'd be able to get away with it based on the tripping they had gotten away with before the end of regulation.
That might have been a flopperoo. Despite what the announcers were saying, that seemed like that might have been a flopperoo. That's what the Bruins were yelling at him.
It looked very trippy to me, the way the stick came across and managed to seemed to hook both of his feet.
Listen. It was trippy because I was playing fish while it was happening. Everything was trippy in that game.
All right, but here's overtime.
Tripped out.
Top of the circle. Zegras top of the right circle. Dvorak in front. Martone. Save made. Rebound. Scores.
Well, the problem is that was 5-on-3.
Yeah, McAvoy took the high stick after that.
Yeah,
I mean, they had no chance. They had no chance.
No, you weren't gonna 5-3 in overtime. It was 5 Philadelphia Flyers on the ice to the 3 Boston Bruins. Yes, the chances of them winning at that point, and they had like a minute and a half to do it.
Yeah,
So,
the rest of overtime, basically.
No, it was there was a minute. There's 5-minute overtime.
Yeah.
There was like a minute and a half left in overtime when they got the second penalty. So yes, they had the rest of overtime. The Bruins certainly weren't winning that in overtime.
Yeah.
So they just were going to have to sit there and kill a 5-on-3 at the end of a game, which it can't be easy. When you're it's hard enough during the game, but like when you're going into overtime and you've been on the ice for that long, I'd imagine it's even more difficult.
Well, difficult too for Korpisalo or Swayman, whoever's in net, to have any type of game. And Korpisalo, as we said, was outstanding yesterday. But as David Pastrnak says, when you don't score goals,
pretty much this whole trip, like we not scoring many goals. So maybe the shots there, we just
same old trip, man.
More greedier, I guess. Go more to the net, and start scoring some goals. We can rely on our goaltender every night.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Goaltending's been good.
Yes.
Goaltending's been real good, but they've scored 1 goal in each of the first 3 games on this road trip. And the guy who's been noticeably absent, not only in the trip, but for a long time, is Morgan Geekie. He has gone a month without scoring.
Well, he broke his stick against the glass after he had a shot blocked in the third period.
Everybody's rooting him on, though. The whole bench is, really behind you. Come on, kid.
Give him the old chuck on the shoulder when he sits down. Don't worry, Tiger. It'll get better.
Remember when you were good? Like the whole season you were good?
He scored a goal the first game back from the Olympic break. Then he scored a goal on March 5th. He has not scored since. That's 17 games. 17 games for your leading scorer.
Yeah.
No one scored more goals than that guy.
All he did was score all season long, and then
just somebody closed the door.
Yep.
Nope, no more for you. We're getting close to the playoffs here. You might want to break out of this soon.
Well, that's the thing is that, okay, so they have a 6-point cushion to get into the playoffs with 4 games left. It would really be something if they didn't make the playoffs. Now their schedule is very difficult until the last week of the last game of the season.
At Carolina tomorrow night. Nice break there before they host the Lightning on Saturday, then at Columbus, and then home against New Jersey.
Well, Columbus has gone right into the tank. That's fortunate. Columbus, I think, is 1-5-1, 1-6-1 in their last 6 or 7 games.
Right, but it still could conceivably be a game for. Well, listen, they played Florida and lost, so I mean, whatever. Columbus isn't terrible. So regardless, but I mean, it would. I mean, obviously, Boston would have to lose all their games, and someone would have to win all their games in order for the Bruins not to make the playoffs. But so they're probably going to make the playoffs. But the way they've been playing, I mean, so say Ottawa jumps you, which is probably not going to happen either. But so it looks like you'd be playing Buffalo. Correct? Or no, you'd be playing Tampa Bay.
Right now, if things hold the way they are.
So you'd be playing Tampa Bay.
You would be playing Tampa Bay, but Carolina only leads Tampa by 2 points for first place overall in the East. So that gets back to tomorrow night's game, which means something to Carolina.
Okay, so regardless, though, yeah, I guess. But do you think they really care if they play Ottawa or Boston? But nonetheless, Carolina's won the Metropolitan.
It's more home ice throughout. That's the
right.
thing.
Yeah, I just don't. I agree with you. Like they have an incentive to play, but I don't like if someone was on the fence with health wise, I don't think they're going to play him.
Okay,
that's just. I mean, it's splitting hairs. I understand where you're going, but the thing is that, you're not beating Tampa or Carolina. I mean, I want them to make the playoffs, obviously, but I mean, holy moly, they've been bad.
It's funny.
Really bad. I mean, they were really bad the last 2 games.
It's funny. I was listening to the hockey show, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and Ty Anderson was saying if given the choice of opponents, he would rather play Carolina. Apparently, Carolina has defense, smaller defense. You can beat up a little bit. And their goaltender, who's been really good this season, is Brandon Bussey, who played for Providence for a couple of years. He was the Providence Bruins starting goaltender.
Ruth's son.
No, not Buzzy.
Two
Bussy.
S's. No, not Z's. S's. Bussy.
Oh, I thought it was just S's, but they just said Buzzy.
No.
Okay. Because that's what she created.
Easy mistake to make.
Well, I'm sure everyone in the audience did the same thing. I'm not going to sit here feeling bad about it. Everyone else was thinking Ruth Buzzy too, right? Right, gang? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Old guy who might be young calling again. Carrie. Give me your 2 cents on the whole sitch. All right. But yes, they've been terrible. Now, look, before that, we were praising them, so things can shift. But they're very fortunate that everyone else decided to fall apart as well. The Islanders have lost 4 in a row.
Just fired their head coach yesterday.
Yes, the Red Wings have lost 2 in a row. Like you said, Columbus has lost 6 in a row. Even the Sabres haven't been great. Just everyone's been bad, except for Philadelphia. And Philadelphia didn't play well yesterday either, but they had plenty of opportunities to win that game. Like if you were a Flyers fan and they wouldn't have, if the Flyers would have lost that in overtime, because the Flyers had a ton to play for yesterday, more than the Bruins, that you'd be apoplectic because they should have won that game. They had some 19-year-old out there running around with all these chances. They had some kid, which
the Flyers did?
Yes.
Porter Martone, you talk about the kid who scored the game-winning
Yes.
goal? Martone was taken the pick before James Higgins in last year's draft.
And that's why when they were saying the 19-year-old, I got into the game late. Look, it was on Easter Sunday at 5. I got into the game late. I knew it wasn't Higgins, but at a point, when they were describing a kid, in early NHL action, I was thinking, oh, I wonder if that's Higgins, but it was not.
Real quick, would you, because this team is struggling to score goals,
yes,
you would bring up, know where I'm going with this?
Yes.
He's got a goal and 3 assists in 6 AHL games.
Yes.
I, too, would bring him up at this point. You need something, and this kid, you can't get any worse. So bring this kid up for a few games and see what he's got.
Throwing Geeky around on different lines. They were trying that again yesterday. It's like, that's not working. All right, this is a real change. Different guy on the ice.
Yeah.
Bring him up.
And there's a place to play. I mean, it's not like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. I mean, you can put him in and really not shake things in terms of, what you have established. There's room for him. There's plenty of room to play him. Third line, right? Yeah.
Yes, third line, left wing. Yes.
There you go. And it's not like you're disrupting everything by putting him in there.
No.
It's not like you've been cooking and you have these firm 3 lines that you can't be messing with. So yes, I would absolutely put Higgins in. I'd see what he can do. How many games does he have to play to burn his? Does it just 1 to burn his year of team control?
I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that.
All right. Well, neither do I. But I figured you'd step up since I knew about the paying to get into Yom Kippur services. But I guess you'll just still owe me.
The Day of Atonement.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment. More teams played. We will have that for you. Every time I hear this, I get aroused because I think it's Justify Your Love. But it's not. I take it.
Yeah, that video did the trick.
Security to the First World.
Well, you think so? I mean, that was it. I think very much by design. I mean, she was.
Did any of you own the book that came out? That was the book. I think it was called Sex. Right?
Oh yeah, I went out and bought that $70.
I was just gonna say.
I know. I had my friend photocopy the Vanilla Ice stuff, and then I just looked at that. No, I've never even. I've never seen a copy of the book, but I've seen her nude, actually, obviously. But she's. What the funny thing about Madonna is, and you got to give her a lot of credit, is that she's not like the most beautiful woman in the world or anything. She just was. I mean, it's just like an off-air discussion we had. Her charisma, you know, carried her through.
It did. It did.
You know. She's Reed. We won our MTV, or I want my MTV. It was one of the two. It's a book. It's the oral history on MTV. Remember when there used to be someone who would make an argument anytime I said oral history, like every history is oral. Okay. This was a real thing that happened on numerous occasions on the show.
Did the person not understand what an oral history book is?
Oh, no, they completely understood. That's why they pushed back on it. It was just like one of these things. You're just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, why this? I didn't invent the term. Like, it was the strangest thing. Like, it's a genre of. It's not even a genre. It's a way of a book, a story being told.
Yeah.
Via the printed page.
Yeah, you interview a bunch of people, and it kind of shoots around, and now this person said that, and that person said that.
There's not one narrator telling a story through quotes.
It's an oral history.
It's different quotes from different people laid out in an order. But she, from the very beginning, just started sleeping with guys. DJs at clubs, dudes at record labels, people at MTV, people at radio stations. And she willed herself to fame. And I mean that in all sincerity. It's very impressive. All right, what else happened yesterday? You tell me.
Well, the Red Sox played the
I was there.
The final game of their set against the Padres.
Beautiful day at the park.
Well, you know what? It ended up being a beautiful day on Friday for the home opener with the pomp and the circumstance, the bunting, as John Farrell rightly pointed out these many years ago. Would drop the second game of the set on Saturday, so it's the rubber match. And Wilyer Abreu, having a day yesterday, he puts the Sox on top.
Line shot, right field, that's down. Up against the wall in the corner, another run is in. It bounces away from Tatis. Churning around, Abreu, he is into third, standing up. Sox lead 3-0.
A Yoshida RBI double would add to the lead. It's 4-0 after 3 innings. What could possibly go wrong?
Castellanos, two-time All-Star, rips that one to the left field. That is down for hit. Merrill is in to score. Machado right behind him. He will score. And here come the Padres.
So the same inning. All of a sudden, it's 4-3. Would they add to the lead? Yeah, it would take another inning, but they would.
High fly ball, deep to left field. That one back, and gone. And Weiser gives up another home run. A 3-run shot. Machado, for the first time this year, goes yard. Man, did this thing turn in a hurry. In an ugly way for the Red Sox. 6-4 San Diego.
That's a shame. So that was after Weiser had come into the game there, Fred. What did our boy Ranger end up lasting yesterday? 4 1/3?
4 and 1 batter into the 5th.
Okay.
No, but he didn't get an out in the 5th.
Yes.
He allowed a single, and then he was
Took him
pulled.
out. Yep.
But there were these guys. They were screaming at Machado. They said, "What you've done, what you've done." And I didn't know what they were talking about. But when Machado hit his home run, the two of them, because they were rock stars, they stood up and they turned their backs to the field.
Nice. I like that. That I like.
They turned their backs to the field. So and don't think he didn't notice, because he was scanning the field to see if everyone was looking at him at the time. Why do people hate Machado?
I don't know the answer to that. I was just looking.
My son and I were trying to figure out what was so bad about Machado. Why, of all things, Machado was the guy.
He was kind of responsible for ending Pedroia's career. Really? Wasn't he the one who
was he the guy who slid into him? That makes sense. That was against Baltimore. Yeah.
Jesus, that's a grudge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Right.
I still don't know.
There you go.
I don't know about that. So Pedroia was cooking along, and then he got taken out.
He got taken out at second base on a slide.
But he was like at an MVP form at the time, and then that was what took him out.
No, it wasn't an MVP form. He just was never the same after Machado's slide.
He was the little leader, and he took him down a peg or two. But wasn't there a big kerfuffle about no one coming to Pedroia's defense after that happened?
Yes.
Okay.
That's true. That's true.
They wanted Josh Beckett to go back there and kick his ass,
and then like the next time the Orioles came into town, they threw at him. There you go. Don't worry about when it actually happened. Wait like 6 weeks, and then we'll get him.
And I remember Beckett being involved. Like maybe Beckett threw at him.
Yeah,
okay.
But later in the season,
like 6 weeks later.
Yeah, later in the season. Yeah.
Oh.
No. Well, yes, that's the reason.
By the way, Yoshida with another RBI double in the 7th would tie this game at 6. Again, what could possibly go wrong after that?
High fly, well hit left center, back toward the wall. Duran looking up there, and that ball is gone. Merrill with a home run.
I don't think the game was tied.
Back in front on a solo drive.
Was it tied?
It was the top of the 8th. Tyler Uberstein on in relief, and he had to face a left-handed hitter, Jackson Merrill, and Merrill took him over the wall.
So it was tied. They did tie it. Okay. I thought they were still up a run.
Tatis Jr. with a sac fly in the 9th would add, they give the Padres a little insurance run there. 8-6 your final from Fenway Park.
Red Sox have the worst record in Major League Baseball. They're 2-7. And we were talking Friday, Fred, that they needed to turn things around quickly. I would say the margin for error is very slim at this point. And by the way, the Brewers, who are in town tonight, best record in the National League, 7-2. So they're in some trouble here. Trevor Story looks like he's forgotten how to throw the ball to first base from shortstop. Another error yesterday, and he's hitting under 100. Durbin, who's playing third base, he's hitting under 100. Starting lineup yesterday had 7 guys hitting under 250.
Well, I mean, in San Diego started that game by running into 2 outs.
Yes.
But, I mean, Duran made a incredible play on one of them. It looked like at least there, like he made a great play.
Yeah.
But the first out at second was just...
Yeah,
I don't know what was going
after the Story error, he tried to go to second and got thrown out.
Right.
Was it Abreu or Duran who made the play?
Oh, Abreu, I'm sorry.
It was Abreu from right field made the play.
Abreu made a great throw.
Ranger Suarez lasted 4 innings. It's 2 bad starts to start the season, and those things can get glossed over if you're getting anything from your offense, but none of the starting pitching is. No one's hitting except for Abreu.
You score 6 runs in a game, that's enough. You should be able to win games if you score 6 runs.
And they were missing Chapman and Slayton, who probably would have pitched instead of Uberstein in the 8th inning, but Slayton had pitched Friday and Saturday, so he wasn't available. Neither was Chapman, who also pitched Friday and Saturday. There are a lot of problems here.
No, you've lost every series. You got swept in a series, and you're 2-7. Again, you just start doing the math on things, and if you don't start winning some series here, I mean, you don't have to win 5 games in a row, but if you don't start like picking up some series wins, then you just start doing the math.
Just take 2 or 3 every now and then.
And it becomes a bit of a problem.
Now, Fred, you were at the park. Were you well aware that Wilyer Abreu was a home run shy of the cycle, and were you all cheering for him to get that home run?
No, we left the game early because we had to go to dinner, and also I was soaking
together
wet.
The Easter baskets.
Yeah, well, I had done that before. I got that out of because my son. I was like, "So you're sure you want to leave?" He's like, "Yeah." And then when Miller came in, we were home already, and when Miller came in, he was pissed that we weren't there, and I'm like, "You do realize that?" I mean, we would have had to leave anyway, but like because he wanted to see Miller because he throws very hard. Oh. But I was aware that he was that he had gotten the triple and that he was a home run away from the cycle.
Mason Miller is fun to watch.
I mean, well, good. Rub it in.
He is. He struck out the side yesterday. I think he struck out the side Saturday, too.
Well, he comes out at home to Korn.
Oh, well.
The band Korn,
There
and
you
then
go.
they flash the light. Yeah, and the people use their cell phone lights, and it's like a whole thing with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. They do a whole thing in San Diego. All right, to Andrew. Andrew, go ahead.
Yeah, the Pedroia Machado thing. The Machado hate definitely still comes from Pedroia. He wasn't an MVP caliber player, but he was coming off a 6-WAR season the year before. He was probably on his way to like a 4-WAR season that year. So he's still, and then he never played close to a full season after that. So I think that's where the bad blood is. And then the thing with people not defending him, it's the opposite. They threw at Machado, I think, the next game, and it was Pedroia on the top step yelling, I didn't tell them to do that. And to me, that kind of left a little bit of a bad taste with Pedroia in my mouth.
I do remember that. Now I
Yep.
do remember that. Thank you. I do remember
I
that.
see. I remember it different. I remember no one rushing to Pedroia's defense and then them waiting until Baltimore came back in. So
I do remember that. I remember having the conversation about how Pedroia was like not backing up that it was because of him. All right, I do remember that. All right, we will be back in just a moment. The women's game in basketball is going just peachy. We will talk about that. Why are you talking about women's basketball? Well, it's something bad happened, so we got to talk about it. All right, in just a moment.
them 23. Celtics visit Charlotte tomorrow night. Bruins earned a point in Philadelphia yesterday, but still lost their third in a row, 2-1 in overtime to the Flyers. Pavel Zacha tied it in the third period. Porter Martone won it for the home team in overtime. Bruins have scored a total of 3 goals in their last 3 games. David Pastrnak is at a loss for the reason for this.
Pretty much this whole trip, like, we not scoring many goals, so maybe the shots there, we just need to get more greedier, I guess, go more to the net, and start scoring some goals. We can rely on our goaltender every night.
Their lead is now 6 points for a playoff spot with 4 to go. They wrap up their road trip against Carolina tomorrow night. Red Sox lost to San Diego 8-6 at Fenway Park. They are now a Major League worst 2-7. Jackson Merrill, the tie-breaking solo home run in the top of the 8th inning. Manny Machado added a 3-run shot. Masataka Yoshida 3 RBIs for the Red Sox. They host Milwaukee tonight. And in college basketball, the men's national championship is tonight. UConn plays Michigan. UCLA won the women's title yesterday in Phoenix, 79-51 over South Carolina. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurants. Visit the Nines the day after the Red Sox win and get a free kids meal with every adult entree purchased. You gotta love the Nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Boston Talk Sports.
Trade Drake May. We all know what, but we won't say what. Yeah, worst take on these airwaves in the last 24 hours.
We may not take a call today.
The Sports. When it comes to the show, Hardy thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Tonight, University of Michigan plays UConn, and Hardy will be very heavily on UConn. He does not like the University of Michigan. Some of us will just not watch. It's very late at night, and who cares? But Michigan, a lot of people had picked Arizona. Most people had picked Arizona.
Who cares?
In this tournament. And Michigan destroyed them.
By the way, we had our friends over to watch the games on Saturday, which was fine. But then last night, and this occurred to me this morning as I woke up. Seems to me like my wife mentioned something about the fact these same friends coming over to watch the game tonight. And I didn't say anything at the time, but I'm going to have to tell her as soon as I get home.
That's a strong no.
You can, well, you all can do whatever you want.
I'll be asleep.
I'm going to bed. I mean, I won't make it till the end of the first half of that game tonight. When did they tip off?
9 something. That's the way it has been in the past.
Yeah,
I
it's
see
late.
The official starting time here. It can't be. Let's see. The official starting time. Oh, 8:50. Oh, you're fine.
No. Maybe
but aren't
the
you
end of
jazzed up about the game?
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you have people over for a game that you don't care at all
Well,
about?
I mean, it's just an excuse. You got to, throw a little something on the grill
On a Monday
there.
night at 9 o'clock? What are you going to throw on the grill at Monday night at 9?
She got a pork tenderloin.
So you're going to eat dinner at 9:30
I
at
don't
night?
know. Look, I don't plan on doing much of anything. And that's the news I have to break when I get home this morning.
Like I understand if you don't care about the games on Saturday, having people over because the first game started around 6. So like on a Saturday night, Monday night at 9 o'clock, that's not a time where, I mean, I could see if Michigan State was in it and you wanted to surround yourself with people, but a game that you don't care about, you certainly you're gonna someone's gonna bring out a pork tenderloin, and what are they gonna bring it out right when the game starts?
Well, I'll be putting that thing on the grill probably around a normal dinner time, around 6. So maybe they're coming from across the street. This is not a.
Well, then you got to have them over.
Yeah,
that's right. Once in
exactly.
a lifetime opportunity.
What are we gonna eat the whole pork tenderloin ourselves?
Listen,
I'm not opposed to sharing a pork tenderloin on a Monday night.
Why don't you just chuck it over the fence?
It is the folly of thinking we're going to watch the game together when it doesn't tip off until almost 9 o'clock. That's not happening.
Well, yeah, these are two separate issues. You said that you were going to have them over for the game, and then you said There's a pork tenderloin as reason that you would have them over for the game. But I could, if you want to listen, if you're one of those neighborhoods where everyone's doors open, we know where these neighborhoods usually degenerate to. Someone's got to move at some point. But if that's the way you guys
sometimes two people got to move from two different houses.
Well, that's if it works out. That's if there's true love. All right. But listen, I know yesterday you were all wrapped up in UCLA's 28-point victory over South Carolina in the women's final. Obviously, that was a very exciting game. But the big story, it took me forever to figure out what was going on, but UConn lost to South Carolina. And Gino, how do you pronounce his name? Auriemma. He is the coach of UConn. He's 70-something years old. And they were playing, and he is UConn's won 5,000 national championships. They make the Final Four every year. He's got a right to be upset about everything. This is an in-game interview with him during the broadcast, I would believe, if they had the final, so this would be Friday. Mm-hmm. This is Friday with Gino during the game.
Kind of wild turn of events. Sarah Strong's jersey is split right down the middle. I saw you speaking to the refs about it. What message did you try to convey?
Right. There were 6 fouls called that quarter, all of them against us. And they've been beating the shit out of our guys down there the entire game. And I'm not making excuses because we haven't been able to make a shot.
Well, you are making an excuse. That's by definition what you're doing.
That's what you led with.
Yeah. What you're doing is you're calling out the referees, and that there's been far more fouls on you, and that is absolutely
and that
an excuse.
is part of the reason why you are trailing.
First words out of your mouth
were
about that.
Yeah. Usually if you say, I'm not making excuses, that's exactly what you're doing, is making excuses. And you're an old man who's had a lot of success. Maybe you should, have a little bit of things in perspective.
I heard it not in game, but I went back and, sought it out afterward. Like I think 90% of the people did. Like, what did he say in the in game? And I heard it then, I heard it again now, beating the blank out of our guys. Which brings up something, Fred, you've coached girls.
Yeah, you're supposed to say your person.
No, but it's like when you're in the middle of a practice, in the middle of the game, I understand saying like, guys, come here. Guys, get down there. It's just kind of a thing. But it sounds different when it happens in an interview, when he refers to his players as our guys.
No, I'm not lying. In the girls' basketball, you're supposed to, it's there's a man-to-man defense. You're supposed to say guard your person, find your person.
Yeah.
Person is what and you're not allowed to have people run suicides anymore. They're called, I don't even know what they're supposed to be called now, but not suicides. You recall when we were in school, because if you call them suicides, that's what causes suicide. Is the terminology.
Sure.
Well, it's the fact that you were playing Ozzy in the background, too. And that's, you double down like that.
But then I explained to the girls, though, that was about alcoholism, not about...
You taught him more than basketball. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, that if you read the lyrics, even a cursory glance, you're going to realize it's not about killing yourself. He's saying if you want to kill yourself, this is alcohol, meaning that you might as well kill yourself if you're going to drink that much.
Yeah.
But again, people thought Kiss were satanic, and I would just go, huh? Their lyrics are more pedophilic, if that's a term, than anything else. There's a song about Christine 16 about hanging out in front of the high school, and they're talking as adults.
But this is ridiculous. Their coach rants and raves on the sideline and calls the referee some names you don't want to hear. And
Well, you said the S word, so there.
now we get 6-0, and I got a kid with a ripped jersey, and they go, I didn't see it. Come on, man. This is for the national championship.
No, it's not. It's semifinal.
You got to know the game after this one, Gino. It's
all right.
Come on, we're supposed to win this thing again.
And so, if I'm going through the timeline correctly, now the game has ended, correct? And so Staley is the coach of South Carolina, and Gino Amarana is the coach of. I don't know why I can never pronounce his name.
Close enough.
It's a weird spelling.
That's all he deserves. But this is a few ticks left on the clock. You know, they're shaking hands before the game is officially over, but it's over.
Yeah, and the announcers are talking about what's going down between the two coaches.
The officials will hold the players. Now Dawn and Gino getting into it a little bit on the sideline as Gino has to be held back.
That's right, because he was about to hit her, which would have gone over beautifully.
She starts screaming at him like it means anything. He's already long gone. He's long gone. He's not in the camera shot, and she's like pointing and yelling at him. It's the hold me back, not only by Gino but by her also.
Well, if
it's
she
very
hits
funny
him,
to watch.
if she hits him, it's awesome. If he hits her, it's a whole situation.
No, but it's just fake toughness by both sides. That's all.
Well, I mean, what if you're? I hate to assign gender roles, but if you're a man and you're in a verbal argument with a woman, and you shouldn't. There's no reason to be held back, because if you were to be let go, there is no scenario in which you are not in a lot of trouble.
Yes, true.
So, I mean, even having to be held back in the presence of an argument with a woman is enough to make it look horribly bad. Like, what are you gonna go attack? Now, she could probably kick his ass, and I'm not white knighting either. I mean, he's an old man.
She said
she's an athlete,
and once the other angles were revealed,
she was saying,
this,
I could kick his ass.
I'll kick Gino's ass. I'll kick Gino's ass.
Probably a pretty good fight between the two of them, actually.
And Dawn and Gino, that's part of what makes this rivalry such a compelling one.
I mean, that's why I was locked in on Friday.
As they exchange words at center court. There does have to be one final inbounds here before this game. It's double zeros. South Carolina.
Oh, you can't call boobies that.
It really is the only sport, though, Fred, where you can make a case that people would show up to see, as part of the game, the coach. I remember going to Michigan State games back in the day when Bobby Knight would be in town. And, part of the reason for being there was to heckle him and to see if he was going to lose his mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember this after Brady left and having the conversation with the guys on the midday show. And we were talking about, well, what will compel people to go to Gillette Stadium now? And somebody, I'm not saying who, said, oh, it's to see the coach, to see Bill. I said, no one's going to a football game to get a glimpse of Bill Belichick on the sideline. The only sport you can say that about maybe would be basketball, because
how the hell are you going to see Bill Belichick on the sideline of a Patriots game?
Whenever it gets brought up, it's like, oh, I can't wait to see Tortorella and how he's going to coach. Now it's like you're not going to see anything.
No, you can't see that.
You're not seeing that. You're not seeing a coach on the sideline of a football game. Basketball. Now I'm not going to see Staley and Auriemma coach, but a case could be made. So I didn't find that statement to be completely obnoxious or out of this world. Yeah, it's like it is part of the rivalry between coaches in basketball, and that's it. Just basketball.
No, I was just teasing that I didn't watch it. I don't doubt that they have a great rivalry. I'm unaware of it, but I don't doubt it. No, the only football coach you could see with your eyes is Joe Paterno at the Ohio State Penn State game that I was at, because Paterno stood alone about 80 yards from everyone else.
Well, he did.
Fred, you're exaggerating. No. No, the redheaded kid from the Sandusky, the redheaded man that was the offensive coordinator for Penn State was in that Sandusky thing. That was like one of the guys that got like in trouble. He was
coaching,
and then Joe Paterno had no headset or anything on, and he was wandering, without exaggeration, 40 to 50 yards away from where everyone else was gathered.
Yeah, but he didn't know where he was.
I think you've made that point before, and I think you're dead on. And it continues.
South Carolina has stunned UConn. The Gamecocks will play for a national title.
Okay, very good. And then after the game, you figure, Auriemma.
Close, not quite.
Damn it. You figure that he's had some time to, get his feelings together. Like, okay, you're a coach, you're in your 70s, you've lost before, but, here we go.
That was probably an embarrassing thing that happened. I should probably walk this back.
Yes.
Dawn said post-game that the exchange had something to do with her not shaking your hand pre-game. Is that...
What did he call her?
what you said to her post game?
Dawn.
Well, it doesn't sound like that.
Dawn said post game that the exchange had something to do with her not.
I don't like that.
Something to do that her.
Oh. Okay. Because I thought it was like, well, who's this reporter? Is it a shock jock?
Dawn.
Play it back.
I will. Talk about home cooking. John, you'll catch it this time. Don't worry. I see the blank look in your eyes.
Dawn said post game that the exchange had something to do with her not shaking your hand pre-game. Is that what you said to her post game? And do you have any regrets about the way you handled that exchange with her and your communication about her to Holly Rowe in the fourth quarter?
I don't have any regrets about what I said to Holly Rowe.
Do you have any regrets about that S whistle you got there, Herbert from Family Guy?
Hey there, Mushroom. What's the good news?
I don't have any regrets about what I said to Holly Rowe.
Yeah.
Why would I?
Dentures.
Why would I?
See, I don't notice
I've been
these
coaching
things
a long
until
time.
you
I've never
point them
had a
out.
kid.
Yeah, he's got a huge one. He's knocking that teeth against some dentures.
Why would I? I've been coaching a long time. I've never had a kid have to change their jersey because somebody ripped it. And the official said I didn't see it.
It's bad.
There are a lot of things that happen in that game. Unless you're on that sideline, you have no idea what's happening on that sideline.
Right, you got no idea what's happening on that sideline unless you're in any of the seats around it or you have access to video footage.
Yeah, unless you're, watching where you have a clear view of the sideline pretty much the entire game. Yeah.
No, I mean, for 41 years I've been coaching and I've been, 25 Final Fours. And the protocol is before the game you meet at half court. Anybody ever see that before? Two coaches meet at half court and they shake hands. Correct? You ever see it? They announce it on the loudspeaker. And I waited there for like 3 minutes. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's sad. It's pretty sad.
So that's what you come to her with after that game. That's the first thing you say to her is, I went out there for 3 minutes for you to come shake my hand. You didn't do it.
Yeah. That's what he was upset about, too. I'm sure he would have been in there if they had won, crying about how she didn't come out to shake his hand at the beginning of the game. So there are people speculating maybe it's time that he's not there anymore.
He has since apologized. No excuse for what I handed at the end of the game. It's not like what I do, and I want to apologize to the staff and the team at South Carolina.
Yeah, maybe it's time that you stop coaching. It's enough. It's you've obviously gotten in over your skis. Like at this point, you should be. Maybe. I mean, it's not like that program's going to fall apart. I mean, I would imagine UConn at least can drift for a while. I mean, say what you will about Duke choking in this tournament. I mean, they still get the top kids, and they still, are 1 seeds in the tournament. I don't think if UConn loses him, like all of a sudden they're like at the dregs of women's college basketball. Maybe it's time that he doesn't coach that team anymore. At least they start talking about it. And I bet you they are having some internal discussions about maybe an exit plan for him.
He's lost championship games before. He hasn't flipped out like this. Now, it was an undefeated season. I understand being upset about that, but man, this is a wild, even for him, a wild overreaction. Very Belichickian in the way he reacts to losses.
Belichick was a big baby about these things too, and you saw what happened to Belichick is that as he got older, he started fading real bad. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Jay King will be joining us.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and
know that's Jaylen Brown. He's probably talking about Garza.
Cato.
No, Garza. He's talking about Garza. We are Toucher and Hardy. Jay King covers your Boston Celtics, who are going to finish as predicted, but as of like 4 months ago, second in the East. The Pistons have locked up the first seed. Jay King, do you know? Jay King covers the Celtics for The Athletic. Jay King, any word on the status of Cade Cunningham?
I have not seen what's coming with Cade Cunningham. At the time of his injury, though, like the average absence would have brought him back like sometime just before the playoffs. I think he's going to play. He's a tough guy. Like, obviously, it's a tough injury. Not something you rush back from at all. But I would be surprised if he's not ready for the playoffs.
Okay, because that's obviously a major factor. The Pistons don't stand a chance without their best player. But here we are. What's going on with the Knicks? They seem pretty stuck. Were you expecting the Knicks to be better this season?
Not really. This is, to me, who the Knicks are. They're
hence the stuck.
One big thing that's holding them back is that their starting lineup has not been great, and it wasn't great last year. It's not great this year. To me, that's their problem, is that their roster doesn't fit perfectly. And the starters, you have Jalen Brunson out there, you have Karl Towns out there, you're going to have some issues defensively. That's just going to be how it is. And I don't expect that to change unless they change the starting lineup, and I don't expect them to change the starting lineup because that hierarchy is set. So I think that's their problem. It didn't matter when they changed the coach. They could still go on a run in the playoffs. Obviously, they showed they were capable against the Celtics last season. Mitchell Robinson is a absolute problem on the glass. They have a bunch of wing defenders. Brunson is still amazing, but at the end of the day, I think their starting lineup is going to limit them a little bit.
Ultimately, though, as far as the here and now with the Celtics, they continue to grind out wins. They're not blowing teams off the map. Like, for instance, yesterday against Toronto, they'd get ahead by 8 or 10. Toronto would make a run, but eventually they ground them down and pulled away late.
Yeah, it's interesting because not many people have noticed it, but over the last 10 games or so, the Celtics have gone away from being the team that launches a million three-pointers. Over these last 10 games, obviously Jason Tatum's been back for those. They are 14th. They rank 14th in average three-point attempts per game. And they're still blitzing teams with great offense. They're getting to the hoop. Their offensive rebounding. Jason Tatum's playmaking and gravity has come back and opened things up for everybody, including Neemias Queta. I just think, they're finding different ways to win. And this team, with Tatum back, I'm blown away by how he's looked since returning from the torn Achilles. We're watching right now one of the greatest returns from a torn Achilles in NBA history. I thought he would take a long time to come back to the level where he could play defense, rebound, get to the rim, all that stuff. And instead, it took him 2 weeks to start finding a rhythm again. And I think that's incredible, and it's not something I anticipated at all.
The other thing about Tatum, and I want to concentrate on the defensive end, is how good he has been rebounding the basketball. And, I think it's 9 double-doubles in 14 games since he's been back. And I think he's one of the main reasons, very quietly, that the Celtics are now leading the NBA in scoring defense, which I didn't see coming at all.
Yeah, and to your point about the rebounding, he's rebounding at a rate that he's never done before. He has the best defensive rebound rate by far of his career. He's almost averaging 10 rebounds per game. He's at 9.9, even though he's been on a minutes restriction for most of his time. And even the minutes restriction is a sign of how confident they are in his body, because he came back, first game back, he was at 27 minutes. I was like, I thought he'd be at 18 to 20. And then 2 weeks later, plays 37 minutes. What? he's already playing 37 minutes, and now he's at the point where every game he's playing between 34 and 37 minutes. Looks like he's going to be able to play a totally full minute regimen when the playoffs arrive, and he's checking all the boxes. The rebounding has been next level. He's always been a great defensive rebounder, but he's kicked it up a gear. And their transformation, the team's transformation on the glass, like they looked like they would be one of the historically bad defensive rebounding teams over the first week or two of the season. They were just getting decimated on the glass. And lately they're the best defensive rebounding team or second best defensive rebounding team in the league over the last couple of months. It's a stunning transformation, and Tatum is part of that. But they started to evolve on that end even before he came back. And, you know, even without Tatum and around Tatum now, they have a bunch of other big athletic wings, whether it's Jalen, Baylor Shireman, Ugo Gonzalez, Jordan Walsh. All those guys can crash the glass on both ends of the court, and it's given them a new dynamic.
So, having said all that, Jay, I'm glad you brought up those guys, because as we get into the playoffs here, you know, depth is never a bad thing to have, but the benches do tend to shrink when you get into the postseason. So, how much of an advantage will it be going forward for the Celtics in the postseason, having guys like that who can step up and play if their minutes end up getting restricted because it's playoff time and now you play your starters for as much as you can, and you know the depth, while it's good to have, doesn't matter as much.
It'll be interesting to see what Joe decides to do with his depth, because we saw last year, like the Thunder and Pacers went to the finals, and obviously, historically, in the NBA, when you get to the playoffs, you shrink your rotation in bigger games. You have a rotation of 6 or 7 guys. You just load up the minutes on your key players. The Thunder and Pacers kind of avoided that. They were playing 10 guys in the NBA Finals, each of them. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander played 38 minutes a game. Everybody else was around 30 or less for both teams. And it was just they pressured you. They had energy the whole game, and that was part of what made both those teams so great during the playoffs last season. And so does Joe lean into that? Does he use his depth? Does he go 10, 11 deep? Or does he, you know, heap minutes onto Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Derek White and Peyton Pritchard and just lean with the guys, your core guys? I think he could go either way, and it'll be fascinating to see which one he chooses. He could also go both ways and stay deep, you know, for the first couple rounds and then gradually taper back the rotation as you get deeper and deeper into the playoffs. But I think he'll have some decisions there. And even though historically, like, huge minutes, the trend in the NBA is suggesting that keeping guys fresher, even in the playoffs, matters.
Okay, everything you've said has been very positive and probably rightly so. Would you be very surprised if the Celtics aren't in the NBA Finals?
If they aren't in the NBA Finals, no, I would not be very surprised.
Okay, because everything that you've just mentioned, the historic return of Tatum, the defensive rebounding, the depth, everything has been very positive. What keeps them out of the Eastern Conference Final? The finals, the NBA Finals, I should say. Sorry.
Well, first of all, it's just hard to get to the finals. I would put them as the favorite in the East right now. The way Tatum has come back, the form he's shown, they're the favorite. But they still have to answer some questions. Like, Luka Garza's been pretty good this season.
Yeah,
Nikola Vucevic has been productive throughout his career, but what do the backup center minutes look like during the playoffs? Our team's going to be able to target those guys because they're limited defensively. Tatum, he's looked great during the regular season. What happens when, you know, you're playing in the playoffs every other day? It's grueling. It's physically demanding. Teams are going to be testing him in ways that they won't in the regular season. How does his body hold up then? So there are a lot of questions that I still have about them navigating the long journey of the playoffs. But I mean, based on their history of success, based on the way that Jason Tatum has played, based on the way that Joe Mazzulla has had this team playing all season, and then you add that All-NBA caliber guy, and Tatum is playing like an All-NBA caliber guy the last couple of weeks, then I would have them as the favorites. But but there's going to be challenges along the way.
You also don't know how guys like Shireman and Walsh are going to handle bigger minutes in the postseason. They've never really had to do that yet. So as well as they've played during the regular season, I mean that could be a problem that they might have to figure out as well. So I still say that
Kata, like all those guys, they're all inexperienced. Even Vucevic, he's 35 years old. He's barely played in the playoffs.
Yeah, I still say the Knicks are going to be the biggest problem. Just the physicality, and they're not as bad a defensive team as you think they are. Even though Thibodeau's no longer there, I still think they're top 10, top 6 in the league. I mean, that'll be
the Pistons are more physical than the Knicks.
I'm just talking about getting there. I'm not even talking about the Pistons. They don't see the Pistons. I'm talking about getting out of the second round again.
Yeah, don't put the cart before the horse, Freddie.
Well, no, but he said I think the Knicks are the biggest problem for the Celtics, which is what I thought he meant in the Eastern Conference. Which was what he said.
I didn't take it that way.
Oh, so what? You can crawl into his mind and root around?
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then go outside and tell me what them birds are saying. You know, Jay. He's a bird.
Yeah, those birds. The Knicks to me are the biggest threat in the Eastern Conference. The Pistons, their physicality is great. Their defense is unbelievable. I love watching them play because they're just like a throwback team that just wants to kick your butt every time they step on the court. But they need another playmaker beyond Cade Cunningham. I don't know if they have enough creation to last in a long playoff series against a great defensive team, a more well-rounded team in the Celtics.
Yeah, I would assume the Celtics win that in under 7. I mean, yeah, I think the Pistons are a year or two away from really challenging.
It's funny. I remember asking Mazzulla a couple of years ago about, it was his first, game he was going to coach against the Pistons. I said, does it mean anything to you, the history between these two teams? And he wasn't being a jerk about it. He's like, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know from any personal experience. I wasn't alive. Like, I don't have any recollection of these matchups between the Bad Boys and Larry Bird.
Yeah.
And, it's just
Wow, so he's not a historian, huh? He's not a student of the game.
It just meant nothing. It meant nothing to him personally.
Focused.
He knew about it, but he didn't care emotionally.
That doesn't sound like him at all.
Well, it's just, it makes you feel old. It's like, how do you not? You didn't watch it? No.
You'd think that he would put that on in the bedroom, those bad boy teams, while he was.
That would speak to him. That's what he.
Yeah,
that's what he craved.
Everyone started throwing coins down, and they went at it.
He's such an incredibly tough guy. You would figure that when there were a team that was literally fighting, that he would have really enjoyed that.
A lot of push hands in the late '80s and early '90s.
Well, listen, push hands is all about the present. It's about not looking back at all. It's about being focused on what's right in front of you. If you're worried about the history of push hands while you're push handing, I got news for you.
Oh,
you lose focus, and
you've already lost.
All of a sudden, barefoot, you're bumped off that big rock you're standing on. It's very difficult.
Oh yeah. You've seen underground push hands when you're on rocks. All right, Jay King, good stuff. Enjoy this last week as they wrap things up mercifully. And get going in when it matters. Jay King from The Athletic. Thanks, sir. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, appreciate it. They're going to go. The great Jay King. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
I don't know what it is. I don't have time to think about that right now.
Hunter and Hardy.
It's ridiculous.
The Sports Hub.
Thanks for taking my call this morning.
But in the open plains, are you very wealthy and you moved to get away from the hustle and bustle?
Well, I enjoy Billings, Montana. Yeah. But anyway.
Don't pivot so quickly.
Where do you live in Montana? Are you like Yellowstone
Billings.
or are you in Helena?
Billings.
Did you
Montana.
retire there like one of these rich people that are usurping the land?
No. I am a person who is a good worker. I work with people with developmental disabilities. That's what I do.
Okay.
So
Adam
right.
has got his fist raised in great pride.
Thank you.
As Adam is very involved with that as well. All right, Sean, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the Red Sox, we're proud of, the Bruins hanging in there. The Celtics are doing sensational, and I know they're going to be tough in the playoffs, but we have a problem, and that problem is the Boston Red Sox. I am just absolutely disgusted with this team. Like, look, you cannot be making excuses like saying, oh, we'll turn it around, we'll do well. No, you need to start winning right now. I mean, 2-7. What was I reading that I saw? That it's like the worst for them since 1945.
Matches the worst 9-game start since 1945, yes.
Yeah, and when Ted Williams came, bless Ted Williams' service because he was the greatest hitter ever lived. I mean, he obviously, if he hadn't gone out to the war, he would have. Yeah. But I'm just so sick and tired of it. And, as far as the ownership goes, I don't blame fans for chanting sell the team because it's like, you lie to us, ownership. You say that you're going to go out and spend in the offseason. You don't do anything like that. They were supposed to have the third best rotation in baseball, and that has not been the case. So it's like, if you don't get it together soon, by the summer, everybody's going to be talking about Patriots football. So it's like there is a lot of time for them to turn it around, but I'm sick and tired of the excuses. I mean,
I'm not sure they care about people caring about the Patriots in that. I mean, even on Sunday, there's a heavy San Diego contingent at the game. But the park was not full, and I got tickets 2 days in advance on the secondary market behind the visitors' dugout in row F for $120 a ticket.
Yeah,
that's
the danger. It's not being excited or not excited. It's not caring. That's the worst part.
But I mean, I don't know if they're gonna. If how much it affects attendance, just based on what I said, is that you get such a visiting crowd in. And the thing is that they should have a good rotation. Nothing that they did in building the rotation was incorrect. Suarez has been bad. Now you'll notice Sonny Gray won the home opener. Thank you for what. And Crochet had a bad start. So, but what do you think? Crochet is not going to be good. So the rotation. They traded and they signed and they improved the rotation. They should have a top rotation in baseball. That's what's on paper. At a certain point, you put it together, and if it doesn't work, it didn't work. It's not because you didn't spend money or didn't try. But again, you traded Devers, you left a huge hole, and now Bregman's gone, but he's not even as tall as he said he was. The main thing is that you traded Devers for nothing. It just all goes back to that. If you had Devers in this lineup, I guarantee you've won more than 2 games. And you're right. As much as I caution against, flip it out about individual games or even an individual series, when you start a season 2-7, you start doing the math and you just start seeing what is required from you from here on out. And that just gets more and more of a tough hill to climb. You got to start winning series, and as John stated, you have Milwaukee coming into town that are a phenomenal regular season team.
So far, so good in this season, too. I mean, I keep going back, and I think it was Tom Caron who said it to us on Thursday. Starts like this usually prompt a big change of some kind. And I understand this ownership loves Alex Cora. Alex Cora is loved by everybody, but if this continues and you get to the end of April and you are, clipping along 10 games under 500, this roster was not built to be okay. This roster was built to improve upon last year where you did make the playoffs. I would have to believe that Alex Cora would be under the gun here if this continues.
Yes, and they also are playing bad baseball. It's
that's the thing that I think about, Fred, with Cora is when you look at the issues in the field defensively and the errors that are being made.
Especially, my God.
If you made the wrong call on a pitcher, all right, you made the wrong call. If, guys are not hitting, all right, there's a lot of reasons for that. But if there's one thing that the manager or the coaches do have, some sway or influence over is you would think just like infield defense and some basics and not, making sure guys don't intercept the throw or, the cutoff man. Yeah, the moves like Brian Bayo did last week.
2 errors on a stolen base, right.
So do you put any of that or some of that on Cora directly?
Well, that's the thing is that when you're playing this poorly and you are playing the game of baseball poorly, it's not like your pitching's getting shelled or like you said, it's not like one facet of your game. When everything is going wrong, that's what you have to do. I don't know if it's Cora's fault or not, but all I know is that you can't get rid of your entire roster, and you're at a point right now with your young players that that these kids got to develop. So you got to make you have to make a change if you don't feel like your kids are getting developed because you've hooked everything. Now we'll see what happens with labor, and we'll see what happens if there's a salary cap, and we'll see what happens with with spending. But because the Red Sox, believe me, they spend money. They don't spend as much as comparatively to other teams as they used to, but they're still spending money. But the team is put together. You did all of this based on a youth movement because you had pivoted and you had filled your farm system, and now you've committed to these kids and you've given them contracts and money, and now you're supposed to be winning now. But aside from that, you're supposed to be developing these kids, because if these kids don't develop, you're in a lot of trouble. Mm-hmm. A lot of trouble. Because Suarez and Gray are Band-Aids. These are guys that were supposed to help you win now. Contreras is a Band-Aid. Duran is way older than you think. You need Anthony. You need Mayer. You need
Duran is one of the kids that you're bringing along.
No. Duran is well into his 30s. He just hasn't. He is.
I don't think he's 30 yet, is he?
I think he is. I think he might be 32 years old.
No, I don't think Duran's 32.
29.
Yeah.
All right, 29. I was 3 years off. He's not a kid.
No, he's definitely not a kid.
30 this year? Does he have a late 2026 birthday?
September 5th.
Kaboom. So let's just not split hairs. He's
30.
He'll be 30 at the end of the year. At the end of the season. No, he's not a kid.
I agree with you on that.
Right.
But, yes, they are leaning on guys like Roman Anthony and Marcelo Mayer and all those guys. All those guys. Don Rafaela. Narvaez is in his second full year. I mean, all these guys are supposed to step forward, and it hasn't happened yet. And I understand it's only 9 games. But considering how tough this division's going to be, the Yankees are away to a great start. By the way, the Yankees are in town next week.
Yeah. All right, we have to break. But, yes, suffice it to say it's bad. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to
Sports Hub.
This was playing as we entered Fenway Park yesterday.
Oh.
This was.
The chills did it?
Oh, nice.
I like Fenway. I like where it is. And I like when I get seats behind the visiting dugout. That's the place I like to sit. 4 seat rows, not log jammed. I did enjoy the rain and then the cold that followed. I liked being covered in being wet and then sitting out in that. I also liked that knowing that we had to leave at a certain time because of Easter dinner, and that also we were cold and wet, and that my son wanted to leave. But then when he found out that Miller was pitching, he was upset that he wasn't there.
Last time I sat down in that area, Fred, Calvin and I went to a game. It was the first of a doubleheader the year after COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So this would have been 21, and they were doing the 7-inning doubleheader that day.
Right.
Glorious. I think we left the house at noon for a 1 o'clock start, and we were home by 3.
Wow.
It was awesome.
That is amazing.
Quick. Work fast. Let's go.
Yeah.
Playing 2 today.
Yeah, if you're paying for something that's enjoyable, you want it over as soon as possible. No question about it.
Paying for it. Come
on. That's the whole thing. I apologize.
I walk up to Fenway. They're like, "Oh, it's Mr. Baseball," and so that's right. Let me in. I get my kid with me too, so don't give me none of them crap seats.
Yeah,
give me something good.
They say, whoa. You go to sit down in your seats, and they're like, wait a second. This is a guy from the golf show.
Right.
And then they're like, yeah. And they're like, come with me.
Yeah.
Why don't you just sit on the field with your son like the ball boy today?
Sports Hub Golf Club debut this Sunday. 98.5 The Sports Hub, 7 a.m.
Live. Going live.
The one live show of the year.
No.
There are 3 other majors.
Yeah.
Oh, you do it during every major?
Yeah, we'll go live during the PGA Championship next month.
You count that, huh?
We'll go live during the U.S. Open, and then the Open Championship live show. You got guys who are like warming up and getting on the course because of the delay. That's fun.
Yeah.
It's like live commentary, and there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
So, who's the guest for this Sunday?
No guess. Solo, baby.
Yeah. Do you have a rough outline of what you're going to talk about?
Well, you're calling in.
Oh, for sure you want me on there.
You said you would call in for the first show.
What do you want me to say?
I want you to talk about the Masters, and we can talk about golf. You'll be watching some of the golf Thursday and Friday and Saturday.
No, I won't.
You won't watch any Masters.
If something interesting is happening late on Sunday, I'll watch it, but not until then, no.
I don't understand.
I don't really like. I'm sure. Well, I'll have a heavy load to carry on Thursday and Friday because I know where your focus will be during the latter half of the show. Is you will have what will be on your computer.
The Masters.
Right. And that will be what your attention is turned to. So I know that, and I don't want to bug you and get you agitated.
Yeah. That's me though. You're not gonna watch any of the third round coverage on Saturday.
The chances are very slim that I would. Yes.
You got plans?
My son has games on Saturday, but beyond that, I don't think that I would really sit home and watch the Masters. I don't like watching golf on television or in person.
Okay.
That's problematic.
Okay.
Why is that problematic?
Well, you don't like it either way.
My
so
life,
you're not gonna see it.
You know
at
what,
all.
John? You'd be surprised how many people function in this world without watching golf.
You'd be surprised the number of things Fred doesn't like. No.
That is true. That is true. If there's ever been more evidence of my negative attitude, it's my inability to enjoy
televised
golf as a spectator sport. Absolutely. Listen, I can eat it if I have to. But one thing that's great about baseball, which is back, is that teams feel the need to spice things up a little bit. Now, last week we did inform you about what the Blue Jays did, and they created this little anthem. They said, "Not so fast." Just slow it down, you turkey.
I want the BPM counter on that thing to read no more than 5 on the first number. Let's keep this thing below walking pace.
This is Canada. Let's not get it again. And the name of this song is "Okay Blue Jays" because they were going to call it "Oh my God, you were great, Blue Jays," and they went, "No. That's New York talk."
How about OMG Blue Jays?
No, because again, that's let the people south of the border do that. Let the United States, because we're all Americans.
Let them get all riled up.
Let the United States get all riled up. We'll keep our comedy nice and centralized.
You got a diamond.
Yeah.
You got 9 men.
Yeah.
Got a hat and a bat, and that's not all.
Whoa. Because I would have been good with that. A hat, a bat, a diamond. What you're going to throw more crap in here?
You got a hat and a bat and a cat. Scat.
Yeah. You know why it smells? You know why it smells? Because I just...
Past tense. Past tense. I got
a hat. You got a bat.
And
Don't go by the bathroom because I just shush.
Because I just not so fast.
That's the dueling piano version.
You got the bleachers.
Yeah. You got horrible seats with no back on them. BC does that for their football game. You got the bleachers where there should be good seats, but still nobody goes.
Got them from spring till fall.
Huh?
You got them from spring till fall.
Oh, I thought that was a spring till fall. It's just some Canadian thing.
Okay.
Springtail Falls, it's in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever go to Springtail Falls in the summertime? It lasts for 4 days.
Well, keep your mouth shut about it. All right?
We don't need the world knowing about Springtail Falls.
We don't need the world coming over here. There's enough people clamoring to get to Edmonton and Winnipeg.
Now,
dog and a drink and the umpire's call.
Ah, that's what you're talking about. All right, so
now whether the Blue Jays actually endorsed this or commissioned it, we don't know. Sometimes teams will actually commission a song and promote it, and I think that's the case with these next couple.
Yeah, so Tampa Bay, I mean, for years, we're old enough to remember the dark ages before Tampa Bay had a team, and the rallying cry throughout the nation was always, can't you just expand this thing so we can get something in Tampa? Where every body cam YouTube crime scene comes out of. Could we please reward these awful people with something to enjoy? Now, don't give them any kind of real park. Shove it in a mall.
No, stick it inside a convention center.
Yeah, and just have, let's not make the ceiling so high that the ball won't hit it.
No.
No,
There's no need for that.
So there was, and again, I don't like to point at my age, but there was a time when Tampa Bay didn't have baseball, and just, it wasn't good. Let's just put it that way. It took Tampa Bay
Things were not right with the world.
When I was in Orlando, there was talk of the San Francisco Giants moving to Orlando, which it seemed like it was really going to happen.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Jacksonville Jaguars will be playing in Orlando for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll realize, oh, no, this city's way better.
That's right.
They building a new stadium?
Yeah.
They're revamping their old one. So
sorry.
they're playing.
Yes,
they're playing in Orlando for a year at the Citrus Bowl.
They're going to have so the 3 home games they have will be in Orlando.
Right, when they're not overseas.
That's true. It's a good point. It's only 3 games. I forgot about that.
And you might say, Fred, Orlando's not a great city. And I would say, compared to Jacksonville, it is.
It's Paris.
Yeah, you fly into Orlando International Airport and go into Orlando. You go, oh, hey, there's a real city here, like with things. Jacksonville, not the case. No, Jacksonville, really nothing going on, except for 38 Special. All right, so here is what the Rays did, as if they needed a song, because everyone was already hyped up through the interbreeding and rampant, ridiculous crime. It's the Benny Hill of crime going on in Tampa. Here we go. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah, he comes out hot.
It's another. It's another.
It's another beautiful day in sunny Tampa Bay. You'll feel the heat intensified.
What happened to Alf? Did he get kicked in the balls before he sang this? He's eating cats, obviously. They're not agreeing with him.
It's another beautiful day in sunny Tampa Bay. You'll feel the heat intensified, exposed to our rays. The stands will start to rumble.
Well, you will not be exposed to any rays.
No, there's a huge dome covering you.
A dome, it's just more of a roof. It's a shingled roof out there. Because why would you allow yourself to be in the elements of Tampa? After all.
As the board is lit,
the hazmat board?
No, as the board is lit.
I thought that's, again, they were having a sewage issue and hazmat had to be brought in.
as the board is lit, the thunder of voices chanting, welcome to the bed. Feel the heat, raise. Feel the heat, raise. On field stands the power of the bay.
Tampa is just the worst place ever. It really is a horrible, horrible place.
As soon as I heard "Feel the Heat," all I could think of was
All day, all night, you feel my heat. Feel my heat.
And see, Boogie Nights, that was supposed to be bad. But yet it's better than this. You know what?
I think we should repeat that again. Feel.
Tampa Bay is the Dirk Diggler of cities.
Feel my heat. Yeah.
Tampa Bay is the Dirk Diggler of cities. It's where every young Dirk Diggler mentally goes to move.
Yeah.
To ruin something that could have been nice. It has water and nice weather. It could have been something nice. But again, Florida, for whatever reason, Florida's been ruined. Everyone decided to go down there and ruin it. But here we are. You. I wonder if they could have done it after you took the dump. Because also, if they could have found it when you had some sort of laxative, because this dump is not coming out any.
Yeah.
What's the strategy with this? Sound like I'm pushing out a dump. But your voice sucks anyway. No. Not sucky enough for a Tampa Bay Rays song.
Let's do another take.
Let's sound like Sebastian Bach, his brother, like a twin situation. The tall Sebastian Bach, and then we have the glob of Sebastian Bach. Yeah, they're like, they just asked the question, have you been to jail? Okay, I understand. Was it a domestic issue? Okay, very good. Were you high? Okay, very good.
Have you ever found yourself in a lazy boy shirtless talking to police officers inside your home?
Okay. No, season tickets, my friend. Don't worry, you'll have friends. It's our hit and run, which is the state slogan. Come to Florida, you'll get away. When you hit run, we're not going to chase you. You're cool. Yeah, all of that is true. Everything that you just said
whatever you just said, I agree with.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get the crowd hyped up, I mean, try not chanting too. Yeah, everything he said there is happening.
Feel my heat.
All right. And if you finally, if you just thought that the Red Sox were not complicit in any of this, you would be very, very wrong.
It's summer again up in Boston. The Red Sox are playing today. And once that first ball has been tossed in, another game gets underway. I always...
The ball has been tossed in?
Yeah.
That doesn't even happen.
No, that's how they start the game. They toss the ball in the infield, and then you have two designated players from each dugout run out. Whoever grabs it first, you get to choose whether you're going to bat first or whether you're going to pitch first.
But when you think of New
XFL.
England,
right?
At least they're using the hill music of New England to get this point across.
This is once again the fascination with country music has infiltrated all parts of the country, including Massachusetts. A little lap steel, a little twang here. People want to pretend they're cowboys for God knows whatever reason.
I always sit up in the bleachers.
Because I can't afford another seat. And I pretend to my kids that look at this, we want to see the back of the outfielders. You'll catch a home run. Sit tight.
I get such a wonderful tan. I scream and I yell like a madman.
And then they take me out in cuffs.
Then take me out in a white van.
Hey, let's get drunk and start fights.
We'll get soused after the game is over. I'll take you to mommy at her house.
Let's keep this our secret that we couldn't stay till the last pitch because we were removed. Please don't take the looks of sympathy from the people around us that your father was behaving this way personally. All right, very good. We will be joined in just a moment by Chris Mason. Not only are we going to talk about the Red Sox, we will talk about his Roman Anthony profile. He has dug into the life of Roman Anthony as he's lived it thus far, and we can have that with Chris Mason in just a moment.
Feel my heat.
over them and be prepared as you possibly can. No, I don't think that we're not doing that. I think this is just a tough stretch, and we need to find a way to just bring more energy and just be better.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Chris Mason is the sports enterprise reporter for Mass Live. He wrote a nice piece on Roman Anthony. Chris, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thanks for having me on. Good morning.
We appreciate it. What's Roman Anthony's dad's name?
Tony.
Anthony.
Yeah, his name is Anthony.
Yeah.
And his older brother is Anthony Jr.
Okay. Whoa. So they have two Anthonys?
They sure do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. Part of this story is the indignity of being a high school player and taken in the second round and only given $2.5 million signing bonus. I mean, in a draft that also includes kids that played in college, the indignity of having to wait an entire round before being taken can be very trying on a man. It is compared to Brady's slide in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't know how you ever recover from an embarrassment like that.
But it's a theme throughout the story. It's Roman Anthony getting pissed and showing everybody up that they were wrong about him, right?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, he took it very personally that he was the Florida High School Player of the Year, and there were 5 kids from Florida high schools taken before him. And he did slide down to 79, which it's like they have the comp picks. They have kind of longer rounds. So, yeah, he went down to 79 and just was not happy about it.
Right. But we have to admit that in the the scheme of things, being a bonus high school draft pick is a pretty big accomplishment for a kid. You know, a positional player nonetheless. You know, you have to assume.
Absolutely. But on the flip side of that, ESPN just did a redraft of that draft and had him going number 1 overall as to like where these guys should have been picked. So
no, I would imagine, considering, you know, the way that his trajectory has gone, he was underdrafted. There's no question about it. It's not exactly a Pujols situation, though, or a Mike Piazza situation where they were, you know, afterthoughts, and then they went, oh, by the way, you're a Hall of Famer. Like that's let's put it this way. If most kids in high school, if they were being bandied about as a first-round pick and they slid to the second round, I don't know if how big a tragedy it would have been. But nonetheless, it speaks to the talent of Roman Anthony and what is required of an athlete to get that kind of – they need fuel, is what you're saying, Chris.
Yeah, essentially. And it got to the point where he was so mad after falling out of the first round that he told his dad, you know, call my agents, get me out of the draft. And it's like that. Well, that's not how that works. Like, that's not going to work that way. But yeah, that's how upset he was. And it's like you're saying, it's not like this is Uberstein, the kid who made his debut last night, who went in the 19th round, I think. But yeah, no, it's definitely something that's fueled him since then.
Do you think
it still bothers him now?
Do you think if he had been selected higher, you wouldn't feel the need to overcompensate and buy a Lamborghini? Mentioned in the first draft. I skipped over that the first time I went back and reread. I'm like, holy crap, he really bought a Lamborghini?
Which is the biggest comparison to Brady that you could make.
Right.
No, it's not a joke. Remember, Brady was dancing around down in Rhode Island in some ridiculous car. He was.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you give an 18-year-old $2.5 million right off the bat, and then 130 when he signs his extension. You know, he's got some money to play with, so there's always got to be a purchase like that, I guess.
$2.5 million plus the agent fees and the taxes. I don't know.
Not as much money left as you would think.
Yeah, that's a $200,000 vehicle.
No, the Lamborghini came after the extension.
Oh, okay.
All
right. Very good. All right. Very good. Then, yes, absolutely. Then one can afford to whittle. But there is something funny about a kid that age getting that kind of money. There is something interesting about that.
No, absolutely. And I mean, even his first car in high school was a Mustang. And one of his teammates was telling me, it's in the story, that he pulled up to the field for the first time. And, you know, he thought he was, you know, hot to trot in this new little Mustang, but he was too big for it. And he's like, we all just started laughing, like watching this big kid, like try and get out of this Mustang.
Oh, there's plenty of room in that Lamborghini. Lots of headroom. Yeah, lots of room to stretch out. That's a good move.
Well, Bubba Smith was able to.
Oh, that's right. Police Academy. That's right. So, Chris, one thing you've detailed in the story is that the veterans and the rookies alike tend to flock, for lack of a better phrase, flock to Roman Anthony. At the age of 21, why do you think he has the magnetism that he has had throughout his pro career?
I think it's a combination of just kind of how he's wired, where he's really quietly confident, and the fact that he's been able to deliver on the field at every single level too, where the moment just isn't too big for him most of the time. And I think you even see that where they lose yesterday, fall to 2-7, and he's the one taking questions from reporters. I don't think you see a lot of 21-year-olds doing that, but it's just something that comes naturally to him. And yeah, I think it's a combination of the quiet confidence that he has and just the results that he's shown through, every league thus far.
As for the here and now, you mentioned it. They're 2-7. They're the worst team in Major League Baseball. Can you explain what's going on with the Red Sox at all here in the first couple of weeks of the season?
It looks like they're pretty bad at everything right now, which generally isn't a very good combination. But you hear about run prevention all offseason, right? Like that's the buzzword, run prevention. And then the starting pitching's not getting it done. The bullpen doesn't look good. The defense isn't sharp. So, I don't think it's one thing that's killing them right now. They're just not doing much well.
It's funny when you say run prevention, because that was something we all laughed at years ago. I think it was, I don't know if it was Theo who first trotted that out, but it sounded like the ultimate in window dressing and marketing. Now it's become like so common, and when they construct the team the way they did over this past offseason, you just accept it as fact. It's like, oh, this is the thing now, and it's a completely legitimate way to build a baseball team if you fell for it. But it's easy to see why the people who didn't fall for it felt that way at the time, because can't really score a bunch of runs. They scored enough yesterday, but as you said, Chris, when you couple that with bad pitching, there's no way to win a baseball game.
No, exactly. And the defense hasn't looked that improved as to the point they were trying to sell you on it in the offseason. It's like, oh, the infield's going to be totally better. It's going to be a different infield, but you still have Trevor Story at shortstop, who looks more like September Trevor Story, where he had errors all over the place, and that hasn't really been cleaned up either. So yeah, they try to say run prevention after they don't sign Alex Bregman, and then you have Ranger Suarez, who you allot that money to, who has 2 bad starts in a row now. And yesterday he goes 4 innings in a game where you need some length because the bullpen's already taxed. So yeah, just not a lot going right for those guys right now.
Is it too early to worry? I don't know if you've been around long enough to realize that Red Sox fans tend to panic quickly. So I'm wondering, do you think this is one of those times where that's justified?
I think so at this point. And I think you've seen there are 2 teams in recent history who this has happened to. One was 2019, and that was the year Dombrowski got fired. And one was 2011, which turned into the chicken and beer year, where Francona ended up getting ousted at the end of it. So I do think there are some red flags here to, you can wave already.
Yeah. How long do things have to continue to go badly for changes to be made?
I think it would have to be a while longer, just because baseball is the ultimate, you can't just focus on the small sample sizes. And that's what I think decision makers will talk themselves into in terms of big decisions. But small decisions as much as the lineup, I think you could see change today. I wouldn't be shocked if Trevor Story gets bounced from the 2-hole and they start tinkering like that. But I think it'd be a while before any sort of major changes are made.
Yeah, the difference between this team though and maybe some others is this is a twofold story, is that they are built to win this year in a lot of ways, but also they are depending on kids, and the development of those kids is very, very important, because you can't do both. You can't not win this season and also not develop their kids.
No, absolutely. And that's kind of what they've tried to sell you on. And that's why it's a little head scratching when you don't see Marcelo Meyer as an immediate everyday player, when you think that was one of the things they had penciled in there. I understand they're trying to protect him against lefties to some point, but at some point, I think you're going to let him play. You're going to try and develop him some more.
And how much do you look at Cora right now, and how much more do you think you start to look at him for the specific deficiencies that you see defensively and with the way the team is playing outside of just the individual performances, the pitching and the hitting, when it comes to the on-field play and the errors that are being committed?
Well, yeah, and it's been years now where the defense hasn't really been up to par. And he said in spring training, the errors drive me crazy, and that's something that I think we're going to get fixed. And they still aren't getting fixed, and they're not, a lot of these aren't like, I don't know that there's ever a good error, but there aren't a lot of like, oh, I understand that one. Some of them are just brutal fundamentally. So I do think at a certain point you look back at the manager, but I also think ownership loves him. And I think that Cora, has quite a bit of leash.
Well,
good.
I mean,
Good. All right.
maybe
they
it's,
like him.
Maybe it's time to fire Craig Breslow. I mean, after all, he's been there just about as long as Bloom has, right?
He has been, but think about how unattractive that job was when Breslow took it. And if Breslow now gets axed at this point, then I think that you're making that job look even less attractive when they had a hard time filling it last time. So
that's what the Red Sox do, though. They fire GMs. I mean, O'Halloran had it for a while. Technically, he's gone. I mean, this is what the Red Sox do. They fire general managers in lieu of firing Alex Cora. This is how it works.
I mean, and it's crazy if you go back and look at the track record for how long these guys actually stay around in that role, where it's feels like it's 3 or 4 years over and over and over again. But I don't know at some point if they're going to give somebody actual leeway with it. And I mean, maybe it's Breslow, but I just don't know how much longer they can make that job look worse and worse for people on the outside.
Right. If it's a job that you seem destined to fail at a high profile failure, then yeah, obviously that's something qualified candidates might want to shy away from.
A bunch of them, like one of Chris's point, I mean, what's his name? Breslow was like their 8th choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And if you look at some of the previous guys, they ended up getting fired after doing what ownership wanted them to do. Where Dombrowski was spend a bunch of money, win a championship, build a juggernaut, and he gets fired because the roster looks worse after a year. They're spending too much. Then with Chaim Bloom, it's okay, come in, rebuild the farm system. They're going to make him trade Mookie Betts, but it's going to, they're going to give him a long runway to rebuild. And then, he gets axed as their farm system is better and they're rebuilding. So I don't know. I think that the ownership group has moved the goalpost a lot on these GMs, president of baseball operations, chief baseball officer, whatever you want to call any of them. But I think they moved the goalpost on them a lot. And I think external candidates see that and they're like, I don't know. So, yeah, if they let Breslow go right now, I think that job looks almost as bad as it has ever.
Well, fear not for Chaim Bloom because he's had an opportunity to really take another team down to the scraps. So don't feel bad for him. He's living the dream himself in a market that hates him. All right. Well, listen, Chris Mason, great stuff. Read his profile on Roman Anthony. And you can, it's good stuff. It goes back, he talks to his parents, talks to former high school teammates, a lot of great stuff in there. Read it in Mass Live. Chris Mason, thank you for the time, sir.
You got it. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thank you. It is when they compare the Roman Anthony to the Tom Brady thing, you're thinking, okay. Yeah. A lot of kids go to, they don't get drafted at all. They go to college, they spend 3 years in college, and then they come out and they're, number 1 picks in the draft. It's not exactly an abject failure to be taken the second round out of high school, especially as
no
a
one. But
player.
Fred, how dare you? No one believed in Tom Brady. Now, the fact that he was a quarterback at the University of Michigan should not change the written history that no one believed in him.
The only twist to that is the Henson thing. Is that Drew Henson came in and he, as a senior, had to battle a freshman. That's the only part of that story. I'm with you. I've said it a million times. It's not like he was at Kent State, like he came out of University of Michigan, but Lloyd Carr did disrespect him there, and, he stuck around. So I will give Brady, and maybe that it built him. There is something to that. Second round in the amateur draft as a high schooler, I'm not.
I prefer to focus in on the narrative that no one ever believed in him.
Right.
And yeah, because the senior year and Henson thing, that's legit. It's when they said no one ever thought I could do it.
When you're a kid from California that gets a full ride to Michigan, right? As a quarterback, yes.
Yes.
And you got drafted in baseball, yes. There's certain things.
No one ever believed him.
Yeah, he was a terrible athlete. I mean, he only was drafted in 2 sports. All right, we'll be back in just narrative switch. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by.
wrong when you talk. So much for this country.
Toucher and Hardy.
I guess this country's a bunch of buffoons that don't know the rules.
You idiot. The Sports Hub.
I was trying to watch the show Ted on Hulu, which is really funny, actually. And Seth MacFarlane, like, writes it and directs it. Like, he's out of Family Guy now. And he's just doing voices for it. He's basically just pulled himself completely out of the whole creative process of it. But Ted's very funny. But I found myself watching it, and that's easily consumed. That's not something that's tough watching. I mean, it's a comedy. And it's got the lady that played the prostitute that Frank in Always Sunny in Philadelphia proposed to. And who described her leather jacket that it was tight like a kind of skin. And, yeah. Genital skin.
Yeah, I can't get myself to watch that mid-90s movie.
It's fine. But I just don't know why my kids liked it so much. But I do. I can't even. But my point, I can't even sit and watch Ted. Like I'm looking at my phone and I'm looking at nothing on my phone. I'm achieving nothing. Even when I'm reading the newspaper or even sports is ostensibly part of my job. Even when I'm reading The Athletic, I'm just sitting there reading The Athletic instead of watching TV. I'm achieving nothing. I'm not getting anything out of what I'm reading. I'm not getting anything out of what I'm watching. I'm just in this bubble of incoherent thought.
I know it's so much better sometimes just to leave the phone in like another room and just have no access to it, because I was trying to watch the Bruins yesterday. I'm settling in to watch the Bruins. I mean, important points at stake here. And the second the whistle goes and the puck is, skeetering down along the board, it's just in my mind, I'm thinking it's like, oh, that's icing. They're going to have to bring it back. And it's going to be, I got 30 seconds to kill here with no sensory input whatsoever. There's no stimuli. I gotta, have something coming into my brain. And it's like, no, you don't. Just relax the brain a little bit. Enjoy it. I will be doing that, Fred, come Thursday. And when I watch the Masters, I watch the Masters. I do not find myself having to go to my phone, computer, or anything else.
Or look at minorities. First tee time is what?
Which is usually what gets his mind off.
We all heard it. We all had a good chuckle. And there will be some. On the course even. Playing.
Caddying?
No.
They got rid of that.
Actually playing.
They got rid of when they used to have the Augusta National caddies caddy for people and they could actually make a living. They skeetered away from that as fast as possible. Remember?
I do. And Mitch Albom will remind us again, I'm sure. Sometime this week they'll rerun that column. Or it'll get...
Well, we'll know when Mitch Albom unleashes the beast, because when Mitch Albom writes something, the world stops and takes a gander.
I get the Google alert.
Oh, absolutely.
Pops right up.
I mean, he certainly can hear you reading it with those two ears of his.
But there's something about the broadcast that you're missing out on, Freddie. The fact that you don't watch it is... It's a tradition unlike any other.
Right. It's a tradition unlike any other in democracies that don't discriminate based on religion or race.
They haven't done that in several years.
No, the Masters is good because it shows that not so far away, the weather's not horrible. Because, by the way, high school baseball season's underway.
Yeah.
And Saturday was a good time to be outside.
That's a good day to play.
Good day to play.
Yep.
I just had to wear a winter jacket, a winter hat, and gloves. So that was a lot of fun.
You got the foot warmers inside your shoes.
Yes. Now, my son only pitches, so I do not have to attend the game this evening, but there will be a game on Wednesday, and it looks like that we will be dipping into the 30s by game time.
Ooh, Wednesday's a chilly one.
Yeah. So Dan Roach came to one of my son's games last year, and which was very nice of him. And did the coach like that he was there? Oh, did the coach like that Dan Roach was there?
How about that?
Oh, hachi-machi. And but Dan Roach is there, and it was May, and it was snowing. Now, did it accumulate? Of course not. Let's not exaggerate things. It was just falling from the sky. Now, were they big flakes? No. Little flakes. No big whoop. But it was early May, and there was frozen moisture falling from the ground.
Precipitation that was not rain.
Or hail, because hail can fall in warm weather areas during warm weather.
Yeah.
No, this was full snow. This was real snow falling. And it was May. And I had a winter jacket on because I had been freezing the game before because, again, I stupidly thought it's May. I can put my winter jacket away. And then I learned after that game, no. And, what time was this game at, Fred? 8 at night? Oh, no. 4 in the afternoon. Don't worry about it. It was plenty of daytime left. Oh, yeah. Now, you couldn't see the sun on the account of the miserable suicide gray that was going on. But
what color is the sky? Suicide gray.
Yeah, that's what the Crayola used to call it.
Rope shopping gray.
But they had to get rid of they had to get rid of what they called brown. The color that they used to call it.
Yeah, well.
Or the red color, I'm sorry. They used to call it, there was a shade of red that they called, named after an ethnicity, and they stopped that. It's much like they had to get rid of suicide gray. Everyone got all woke, and they got rid of that. All right, when we come back, we were going to focus heavily on Eddie Trunk. Unfortunately, we had to pivot because you can't hear what he's saying. And I apologized already off the air for that.
It's not Eddie's fault. It was the recording's fault.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie was just in too big a place. The crowd was too loud. You couldn't hear anything he was saying. They were just chanting his name. But we did come up with something, and we will have that for you. So don't worry, audience. Something is happening. We will have that for you in just a moment.
Next, Morning Buddies. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Old metal. Hessian metal. Hesher metal. What is Hessian? Well, Dave Carney, who used to write for Big Brother, just put out a pentagram guide to the 5 Hessian haircuts that are available. And the only reason there's 5 is so he could put a pentagram on it and give you one. Because he contends there's only one real Hessian haircut, and that's the Jason Newsted, which he calls the Primus, where you shave the sides and keep the top long for maximum headbanging capabilities. But he throws some others in there too, including the Rob Halford balding Hessian haircut, where you just have to give up and not have long hair anymore. Well, Eddie Trunk was in South America, and if you're having a metal festival in South America with Guns N' Roses and Leonard Skinner, we're pivoting so I can tell you these things now. It's not enough. It's at a stadium. How are you going to communicate with the crowd that speaks Portuguese? Well, you put Eddie Trunk on stage. Yeah, so it's
I don't know why you said this audio wasn't usable.
Oh, no. This is the segment. Don't worry. Adam and I decided to just go with it and just play it anyway. But so you're figuring English isn't your first language. You speak Portuguese. You know, the woman who comes and cleans my home speaks Portuguese. She uses Google Translate. We communicate that way. But nonetheless, I would be I'm sure that as soon as she sees a guy with a T-shirt and a button-up on with unbuttoned, that she would know that it was Eddie Trunk and that she was at a big event. Yeah, so we didn't put that audio up. Eddie Trunk put that audio up. That's what Eddie Trunk put up. But you might say, I wasn't there. I wasn't in São Paulo, Brazil. Like, what do you want out of me? It already happened. What, do you just dig it in? You just driving me nuts? Well, no. There's still a chance. There's still a chance to see the Trunkster. And where is that? Well, Hardy knows about these things. It's the Monsters of Rock cruise.
Ah.
And it sets sail in 6 days. There's time. What are you going to do? Just cash in your 401k. So, Black Label Society, Night Ranger, and The Darkness are headlining. But there's a lot of other bands. And Adam and I are just going to ask you if you know the bands. And then you can just, for good measure, say, is their singer still around?
Okay, all right. So it's like 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Got it.
Here we go. So you got Black Label Society, Night Ranger, and The Darkness. They're all playing. The next name on this list is this. I'll give you a hint. They have a song that you might have heard that has lucidity in the title.
Oh, Queensryche.
Yeah. Without Jeff Tate, who's not in the band anymore because he pulled the knife on his bandmates.
There's 2 Queensryches now, one with and one without Jeff Tate. There might even be a third, come to think of
How
it.
can you have more than one Queensryche?
Well, because one doesn't have the thing above the Y in Queensryche.
The umlaut.
The umlaut.
Well, it's not an umlaut. It's like I'm not sure if it might be an umlaut. I don't know. It's highlighted here.
Yeah, I think it's an umlaut.
All right. Well, whatever. Well, the next thing that happens after Queensryche is there's one other band they're next on the list. So you're at sea. You've been around.
I've been on the 90s cruise. I know all about it.
You're trying to create a vibe at sea.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to all be on this boat together. I mean, this boat, by chance, is going...
The Trunkster, the Darkness, Queensryche.
Yeah, this is just sailing the Mississippi.
It's
going from St. Louis to East St. Louis.
Now, when it's a riverboat, do you still get to call it a cruise?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. If it's a paddle boat?
But, it's the wheel of it is only powered by metal. It's actually, it's eco-friendly. There's no steam. The steam is
just
all
sound waves.
It's just the vibe of the scene is making this boat putter on. All right, who's this? You're going to get it. Go, who is it?
That's a Rat.
Yeah, that's DeMartini's tone. Sure. Yeah, that's more. Guys, he's kidding around. Don't email him. That we all know that's not Robin Crosby or Warren DeMartini's tone. Don't worry.
You say I'm going to get this. I'm not going to get it.
He's being a goose. Now, this cruise is leaving in 6 days, not 6 days from 25 years ago. This is leaving
25?
No, I apologize. I knew when I said it.
45.
I caught myself. I know. This is not leaving. Now, this would have been huge 45 years ago, though. So
is it 40 years ago or 45? This is help me determine who this is.
The 80s.
Okay.
In fact, Steven Adler was friends with these guys, and you wouldn't think so, but they were. And in fact, we were talking about one of the guys in this band recently.
We were very recently.
It's Crew.
It's Christian rock Bumblebee Striper.
Oh, to hell with the devil! I was thinking shout at the devil.
No, they're saying to hell with the devil.
Steven Adler was friends with one of the guys from Striper. I must have tapped out on that conversation. Were you talking about it on the air?
No, we were trying to learned that the singer of Striper was local. We were thinking if we could get him in to help judge the songs
for the Thuppets.
No,
songs.
Don't worry. You didn't miss a conversation on who Steven Adler was and was not friends with.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. No, we've planned that for Wednesday.
Striper almost made it. Like, I mean, in terms of like a crossover metal band from, Christian rock to actual rock, like they kind of did.
Well, they saw how cool all the Ghost and Goblins metal bands were, and they decided to counter it with their own positive message of Christian, which makes that even lamer.
But they got some people into it, even though they weren't necessarily into the message.
Yeah, they were hot.
Yeah.
They did drugs and had sex, even though they were a Christian band. Okay, so we've said Black Label Society, we said Night Ranger. The Darkness, Queensryche, Striper, Symphony X, who I've never heard of, is the next band. Who's the following band? Now, there's probably 20 bands after this. Now, don't. I'm sorry, we can't get into all of them. But so there's, say, 20 bands after this band is listed. So
Okay.
This is a big one.
All right.
You're getting on a boat. You're like, we're going to East St. Louis. We're going to every Nicaragua. We're going to a lot of good places here.
Now, is this one of the bands that's actually on the boat, or is this just at a port of call where you get off the ship and they're performing there?
That's a good question because I don't know if it would create.
I think this is all on the boat, Hardy, because this is like leaving Miami.
Well, some of these bands are too big and they can't afford to be on board a ship for a week.
He was being sarcastic. They are bringing. They're going. Some of the people are getting off in Haiti because the conditions are better there than where they currently live.
Or maybe on the boat.
Well, listen, less chance of getting disease. So better food. All right, so here we go. This is the next band on the list. John, you might know this, actually.
Okay.
Now we're talking 50 years on this one.
Okay.
Good lady in a rated R movie in the 80s. Because that's what would be playing in the background. If a movie didn't have the biggest budget in the world, but they didn't
Should the singer sound familiar to me?
Oh, I might actually have this one.
Summertime Girls is the hit.
It's Y&T. Yeah, you say Summertime Girls.
You can tell that's old. There's some bright major chords in there. And
like major open chords on an electric guitar.
Yeah.
That's the Y&T sound.
Okay, so Y&T plays. God help Symphony X, who goes on after them, because Y&T, half the boat just goes overboard afterwards in ecstasy. They call it the reverse Titanic. Titanic, they were all bummed out because they were going to, they hit the iceberg. Here you hit an iceberg of metal and you float off the boat. But the band listed after Y&T, sure, there are guys that are dead in the band, but they can still play. Do some plumbing work when you get off.
Not Oasis? Again, I don't know if the singer sounds familiar or if they just all sound vaguely similar. Sleep all day.
That's right. Yeah, he didn't get a correct answer. Who is that?
warrant. Great White.
You could include Vinny Appice in that as well.
Well, Great White are playing.
Okay.
But we didn't pick them as one of the bands. That's Slaughter.
So glad I avoided 90% of this. Just ignored it. Didn't like it. Didn't get it.
How'd you get laid?
I had the White Snake cassette. That's all you needed.
All right. Okay. Well, now that you've passed kindergarten, can we get into the first grade and bring Slaughter into it?
How many more?
17.
How many do you want?
17.
I want one more.
Okay.
Give me one I can get so I feel good about myself.
All right, I'll give you one that you can get. Here we go. They were huge. No pun intended. They were huge.
Are they fat now? They weren't fat. They couldn't have been fat then.
It will be too big a clue if I tell you what they look like now, because they're in the news. In fairness, they're in the news all the time.
Well, this is Motley Crue is the only one I can think
They're
of.
playing Monsters of Rock Cruise. Any guesses?
Quiet Riot?
No, it's Killer Dwarfs.
Of course. Of course.
Killer Dwarfs is playing.
He has been huge. I get it. Yeah.
And finally,
I thought that was the last one.
you might know them for their regular appearances on Howard Stern. That's not a joke.
Jesus Twins.
No, that would be if the Jesus Twins were on the boat.
I'd go.
You only get one these days.
The one guy, I think he killed himself. But
suicide by cop.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. So here we go. This is the last one. Remember when Stern couldn't get anyone to go on his show, so like he would just have people on and they would say anything?
Yeah.
This is a real band.
Okay.
Chicago.
Urge Overkill.
You didn't know where he was going to go with that when he goes, I know that what goes up. And you're like, what? And he goes, comes down. And you're like, ooh, Mr. Dillon, thank you for joining us. You have woven a tapestry of language that has taken me into your soul. Thank you, Miss Chip. All right, that's a.
I'm gonna guess right now that down gets rhymed with round.
No, he said ground.
Ground. What
When
goes
you
up
hit the
comes
ground.
down, and you know when you hit the.
But
ground.
that's a triple rhyme, and you talked all over it. Jesus Christ! When can I get a rhythm with this guy?
It was not a triple round.
He thought you'd fly forever. You're on PCP. Little girl. Yeah.
Did you know this song before this?
No.
Okay.
I don't know necessarily any of their songs off the top of my head. Chip is one of the guys. They're brothers. They are from, not Nelson, they're from Chicago. A lot of times you can never get of this band. You can never get.
Oh, enough is enough.
Well done.
More of a performance art than it is a traditional concert.
Right. Paradise Kitty, of course, is going to be there too. Stone Whiskey, all of them. They'll be setting sail on April 12th out of Miami. They're only letting on.
It's not like Mad Libs coming up with these band names. Paradise Kitty.
You don't need a passport because they realize it's too big a hassle. And they're only letting on so many people that are without homes. But otherwise,
the only drawback is Eddie's show being in best ofs for a week. I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, he can sometimes do it from the boat, Adam.
Yeah?
Don't you think he can't?
All right.
No. I don't know if Sirius would let him go off. I mean, when you get that 10-figure deal, I would assume that there are some.
He's got the upgraded internet package worked into his deal from the cruise people. He's not paying that for himself.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough guys that install it for a living. They're on the boat. There's so many cell phone places that have no one to sell the phones. But nonetheless, here we are. If you want to go to Puerto Plata, look no further than that boat. or Great Stirrup K. Do you want to go to Great Stirrup K? The only thing that will get you there is the sweet sounds of slaughter. Imagine the net worth of that boat. God help the NASDAQ if that thing goes.
There's a lot of pests that are not being sprayed away this week.
You want to talk about a group that will not be affected by AI? All right, very good. Well, you did terribly, and John, you didn't really participate. So
I got wine tea. Come on.
Yeah, it took a lot of hints, and the robot thing, which gave it away.
True.
All right, we'll be back with our award-winning email segment in just a moment. That's not Eddie Trunk.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, you've been hurt.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Our a world-famous email bit is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers, the best in the biz. Just like this email segment, they're the best in the biz. If you've been hurt in any way, in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email, you jerk. Call 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com.
I got an email from Jim Louth yesterday as we are here in the morning of the championship basketball game Monday. Jim Louth, and he's right. He said, I know you make fun of me for this, but this was actually created in your old stomping grounds. Yes, for years I've made fun of Jim Louth because he loves one shining moment. He will stay up. He will record one shining moment. He will watch it several times afterward to see if his favorite scenes and moments from the tournament actually make it into one shining moment.
When Dan Roach was here, he said basically the same thing.
Yeah. Louth yesterday sent me a long-form piece from Ryan McGee of ESPN talking about the composition of one shining moment and the fact that it actually happened in 1986 when a guy by the name of David Barrett was sitting at the Varsity Inn, which is a bar in East Lansing, and watching basketball. And he was a struggling musician, and he started writing lyrics to something, and he wasn't even watching college basketball. He was watching the Celtics. He was watching Larry Bird, probably beat up on the Pistons in 1986. And he came up with this idea of creating a song centered around basketball in this one shining moment. I said, that's great, Jim. And I read...
No, we have asked him that.
Have we?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
He evaded the question because he didn't want to be disrespectful to Jim Nance.
Okay.
All I remember is the hullabaloo that was created when they replaced that version, the Luther version, with Jennifer Hudson. That was probably about like 15 years ago. And, people did not like that.
I must have PTSD because it's ringing no bells. It must have been had too much.
Yeah, it was too much for you. You've blocked it out.
Yes.
Another email from Megan to me and Wallach yesterday. Your two worlds collided on a great documentary that aired yesterday. I saw this on the guide. I did not watch it. About Ken Griffey Jr. photographing the Masters last year.
Oh, what an idea for a film. Thank God that was shot, produced, and released.
Yes, I didn't see this, but I remember it occurring. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, there's a guy that used to be famous taking pictures.
Yeah.
It's just like Randy Johnson and rock
Was it about
photography.
the struggle of him getting a credential as a black man? See to Eddie Murphy the thing.
See him fidget. It's something else.
Photographer 24 is the name of the documentary.
What a fascinating.
How long is this documentary?
8 hours.
Yeah.
It's which part?
I'm thinking it's about 15 minutes.
There's 15 minutes per step he took on the course.
What number did Ken Griffey Jr. wear, John?
What's that?
What number did he wear?
24.
Okay, that's what I figured. That's why.
Yes.
I don't know. My Twitter handle is not Ken Griffey Rules, so I don't know.
24.
Yeah, Ken Griffey Rules. It was marketing brilliance.
I've asked you before, what are the Ken Griffey Rules? And why did
to
you...
be awesome and hit left-handed.
Oh, okay.
Good luck keeping that Twitter page when you leave.
Yeah, I know. Someone's going to squat on that sumbitch immediately.
Well, they're going to fight you for it. I mean, they're going to want that.
What? I don't think that was necessary.
Good morning, Hardy. Happy Masters Week for those who celebrate. This is for Hardy. How does he feel about his beloved sport of golf turned into a sport of criminals? Mickelson with his gambling schemes. Tiger, numerous moving violation. Scotty Scheffler somehow getting off for attempted murder after running over a police officer. Are you embarrassed by these actions of your once beloved athletes? I feared for your safety at the live event in Connecticut with the likes of these criminals walking around. And you weigh in on their criminal activity taking over the golf world on the Sports Hub Golf Club. Sincerely, Paul in Plymouth.
Will there be a true crime episode of the golf club?
You could do one on Mickelson. I've mentioned it at length before. He's something else, that guy.
Yeah. Maybe you could find a sheriff of some small town or something to have on.
As coherent as Tiger appeared, and some people were trying to defend him in the first body cam video that came out. Did you see the ones that were leaked over the weekend of him sitting in the back of the cop car?
Oh, unable to keep his eyes open?
Yeah. He didn't look so coherent in those.
Well, a lot of times what will tire you out is being cuffed and put into the back of the car and realizing that you're being arrested. That a lot of times that will just knock you right out.
Kind of lets your guard down.
Yeah, that's when you just finally can take a sigh and just really relax with your hands cuffed behind your back in the back of a police car. That's when generally you would close your eyes sober.
All right.
Start drifting off to slumber. Those had to be the quickest 8 hours of his life. Probably just put his head down and slept, and then they went, "You're out." Yeah. And he's like, "What day is it?" And they're like, 8 hours has gone by. And they went, "Oh, let's get high."
Let me board my private plane to Europe.
Yeah, well, not before I chew these pills.
Hello, boys. Did you see the company TKO has pushed Pat McAfee into being in WrestleMania's main event to boost ticket sales? Also,
fake news.
The CEO of TKO, R. Emanuel, has booked McAfee into major projects, including a 4-episode arc on Tulsa King alongside Sylvester Stallone, and a role as a U.S. Marine drill instructor in the Netflix film The Mosquito Bowl.
See, I'm glad I tapped out on Tulsa King after a few episodes, because even if I were still watching it to hate watch it, like I did with the rest of Yellowstone, and I tried to with Landman, but then it was behind a paywall, and I don't think we have the Paramount Plus anymore. I wouldn't make myself sit through Pat McAfee infused episodes of Tulsa King, no matter how much I was enjoying hate watching it.
It was just such blatant capitalism and just trying to get eyes on it when it was starring Sylvester Stallone now, and then also focusing on Tulsa. I'm like, oh boy, why don't you just, you want to talk about just laying down and begging for people to watch.
But the premise is uncharted territory. Imagine a mob guy from New York going to a different locale and still acting like a mob guy. That hasn't been done.
Yeah, but does his cousin represent him?
We've never seen that before.
But does his cousin represent him in court? And does he have a girlfriend that's way, way, way too hot for him that knows about cars?
Exactly.
This is from our friend Bob. He says, thanks for talking up the Billy Joel documentary a couple weeks ago. There's a 2-part Billy Joel documentary on HBO. Joel is one of those musicians that I don't go out of my way to listen to. But when he plays live, I find myself being handed a ticket that I paid for and somehow mindlessly walking into the Fenway Park. Oh, no, he didn't say that.
That would be me.
Joel is one of those musicians. That would be everyone.
Yeah.
Again, Billy Joel is someone people feel obligated to see live. He has some kind of mind control device that gets people to buy tickets even though they don't really want to go and feel like they have to go. It's something that people that never go to concerts.
It's the concert equivalent of Devil's Tower in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I don't know why I'm obsessed with this. I don't know why I have to go there. But there's a bunch of us who all just showed up here. Explain yourself. I can't.
Yeah, it's like
but we're here. You got to let us in.
Having said that, the documentary, which Fred,
it's like everybody accounts receivable departments like it has to go, and they got to have me get drinks for Applebee's beforehand. But he says Joel is one of the musicians that I don't go out of my way to listen to, but one of his songs is on the radio. I don't change the station either. In your words, he is fine, which is I think an apt description of Billy Joel.
Documentary is interesting. It unfortunately it's 2.5 hour episodes.
No, it's good though. I think it's worthy of the 2.5 hour episodes.
I am now about an hour and a half from the finish line.
Jesus, John, you've been working on this for like a month.
I know. 5 hours a lot for me to watch.
I would bet you watch 6 hours of TV a day.
No, that's not true.
With sports?
With sports, not 6 hours of TV. It's always after dinner, nothing during the day. So it's...
You don't turn the TV on at all during the day?
2.5 hours.
You get home and don't watch any of the boob tube?
No, actually, I'm now working on different things. Like, for instance, the Billy Joel documentary, I'll watch 20, 25 minutes and then go to sleep. But it's not an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, you got plenty of time to watch that thing. You got nothing going on. Let's be honest.
Come on, John.
It's on me.
You're not even wasting at least an hour a day watching an old episode of NYPD Blue.
No,
I've
I'm
been watching so much Roku NYPD Blue. I'm now seeing episodes again.
Where are you now in the cycle? Who is Sipowicz's partner at this point?
It's Bobby Simone right now.
Okay, those are the golden years.
Yeah, although I didn't give enough credit to how good the Caruso years were. What, a year and a half we got of that?
The second Caruso year was iffy, but the four Bobby Simone years? 3 or 4.
Sounds right.
And then they had Rick Schroeder come in, and it was a mistake. But
the Bobby Simone were before Nina Simone came in and made the thing very soulful. All right, we'll be back in just a moment, and we will take the ship to shore down in Puerto Plata.
Puerto
Plata.
Where the metal crews will be docking.
Where the metal crews will be docking, so maybe don't leave the house that day if you live there. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. All right, Hardy, what is left to be said?
Just announced this morning, Mohegan Sun celebrating their 25th anniversary, so they're bringing in a band to play 2 concerts inside the Mohegan Sun Arena, Thursday, November 19th and Saturday, November 21st. It will be a no-repeat weekend of sorts. Does that ring a bell? A band that toured around doing no-repeat weekends, 2 shows at major venues all across the world.
Yeah, Alabama.
And it was the Oak Ridge Boys. So people were upset when they weren't there on the Elvira night, because what else were we here for? No, that would...
Oh, see it live before you die.
No, this would be the band known as Metallica. Thank you. Coming to Mohegan Sun in November. Now, what amount of money?
This is Metallica.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What do you think Metallica is getting paid for this gig, considering they're at the Sphere in Las Vegas, shows that sold out immediately? Starting in October, they're doing a run of shows all throughout that month and into November, taking a break from their Sphere residency, not due back there until January, but Mohegan Sun is getting them for 2 shows a week after their first Sphere run is over. Holy crap. I can't imagine the amount of money these guys are getting for those shows.
Probably at least a quarter of the ticket sales.
A quarter of the gate?
Yeah.
They're not getting a piece of the bar, though. I mean, Sinatra didn't get a piece of the bar.
No, but if they play their cards right, they'll get an area for a merch table.
Might get some comp to reduced fare rooms, too, down there.
So there are
sleep on the bus thing.
There are 2-day packages that will be going on sale when all of this goes on sale. I believe on Friday, April 10th at 10 a.m.
Metallica.
There you go. Cardi B recently saying that her grandmother's Alzheimer's, when she was a child, was explained away as demonic possession, and that's what she grew up believing. Because of her parents, she said, turns out that was Alzheimer's all along, she said in a recent post. And she said it highlighted the bigger point about how older generations often explained mental health. That's what happened in my home. Whenever one of our elderly relatives started acting kooky, it was just explained away as demonic possession. And we were told things like Cardi B was, don't go near her chair, even when she's not sitting in it, because she's been possessed by evil spirits.
At what point with the advent of the internet and television and things does that get out of your head? I mean, this is not a small town in, the mountains of West Virginia. This is, you are now able to access other thinking people.
Also, let's not, look past the fact that Cardi B is not in her 60s. She's 33 years old. So let's go back, say, 25 years. It is still the new century.
And where did she grow up? Because couldn't you just walk into any kind of religious place and go hey, my grandmother's possessed by demonic forces, and usually the people would kind of talk you down, and they'd be like, that's probably not true.
Well, she was born in a very small town of New York City. And,
you walk into St. Patrick's Cathedral or something, I think that there's a good chance that they'll tell you, maybe you're a little girl, maybe your grandmother's doesn't have demonic forces applied to a temple or mosque, anywhere I believe that you would go in, that they'd probably inform you in New York City that it wasn't.
Well, with
something.
a Dominican father and a mother of all, different backgrounds.
Well, I watched public access television in New York as a child when I was down there, and I can tell you that that message was being loud and clear after the guy from Screw Magazine was on the Robin Bird show. Once Al Goldstein was done with his Screw Magazine appearances on the Robin Bird show, where they showed boobies. John knows about these things.
Oh, hell yes, I do. What a delight that was. Staying at your grandmother's, bored out of your mind. Everyone goes to sleep, and there it is.
But that required cable, which was not available at my grandparents' houses. And if you're looking for the Carney Field Guide to Hessian Haircuts of North America, there are 5 types. Type 1 is the classic. It is just long with a middle part.
Yep.
Type 2 is long with a middle part, but you have curly hair. Type 3 is the Primus.
That's also known as the Dave Mustaine, I believe.
Yes. The Primus is just, of course, the Jason Newsted cut when he shaved the sides.
Okay.
The Hair Bear is the Type 4, which is C.C. DeVille, early Poison days. And Type 5 is the non-Hessian, which is a guy like Kerry King from Slayer who's just shaved his head because he gave up.
They're very rare.
But the reason that there's 5 of them is because there's 5 points in a pentagram. And then also that he was annoying his wife, Dave Carney, by going, "That's a Type 3. That's a Type 3." And then she was going, "How can something be a Type 3 if there's no other types?" And he would go, "That's a Type 3 Hessian." And then she would become infuriated that he was calling something a Type 3 Hessian haircut when there was no other types. And so he decided to fill in the blanks. So there you go.
Well, we thank him for his work.
Yes. Any Norwegian hair metal band or like satanic band, all Type 1.
Yeah.
All middle parts, long middle parts. Scary.
No curly.
No. D. Snyder. It's got a Type 2. All right.
Yeah.
That'll do it for us.
Good poll. Correct.